You're listening to the Electronic Media Collective Podcast Network. Yeah, it's a mouthful. For more great shows, visit electronicmediacollective.com.
So, Dave, what are you calling me this week? Dave? Where is Dave?
The face that runs the place.
Long live living.
Goodbye and good night.
So, this would normally be the part of the show where Dave would introduce himself and then introduce me. But unfortunately, Dave's not here this week.
Dave's not here.
You've just got myself, Daragh Maher. I'm not going to call myself anything this week because that'd just be weird. The Enigma. There we go. The Enigma, Daragh Maher. But I'm not alone because I'm joined by two co-hosts this week. First of all, from the Superior Comics Show, friend of the show, friend of mine, Peter Harte. How are you, sir?
Daragh, thanks for having me on. I'm perfectly fine. I'm aiming for my 50th appearance on the show, and
thank God you don't ask to be paid because we wouldn't be able to afford you at this rate.
that's an option.
No, not anymore. It's off the table. You turned it down. I'm also delighted to be joined by Mr. Dynamo's dozen himself. Dynamo, Ian Kelly, friend of the show, friend of mine also. Everybody's a friend of mine here this week. Even all you listeners can be friends of mine. Ian, how are you, sir?
I'm good. It's great to have no foes anymore.
I know. Well, we'll see what happens by the end of the show.
Well,
it
you
might
never
change.
know.
It might change.
I'm delighted to be here, lads. This is gonna be good.
Yeah, a really, really busy week of wrestling, both at home and abroad, of course. Peter, you and myself went to Scappermania on Saturday. I went to Contenders on the Sunday. Ian, of course, from being in the business for years, you'll be able to cast your what would we say, worker eye on it, would we say?
If you want to call it that.
We'll say, be able to say that, possibly. Yeah. And then, of course, we had WWE as well, Raw and Smackdown in London in the O2 this week too. We'll speak about that as well. So lots and lots to talk about. But the first thing we're going to talk about is, of course, the news.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Also, good news, everyone.
And we'll start with All In, because after months of speculation about whether a self-financed 10,000 seat event put on by the Young Bucks and Cody could sell out, we finally have our answer, and it's yes! The tickets went on sale on Sunday, and it only took about 30 minutes for All In at the Sears Center Arena in Chicago, Illinois, which has a capacity of 11,800, to be considered a sellout. No word on the exact number of tickets sold are available as of yet. As you may recall, this comes about a year to the date after Cody Rhodes claimed he'd take that bet with when Dave Meltzer tweeted saying Ring of Honor wouldn't be able to sell out a 10,000 seat arena anytime soon. As first reported back in November of last year, Cody and the Young Bucks had started to put together plans for the event, and shortly after a date or a venue were announced, since then, they put together an incredible lineup of talent, including Kazuchika Okada, Diona Purzaro, I can never get that name just right. Purazzo, thank you, sir. Thank you. Pentagon Jr., Ray Phoenix, Tessa Blanchard, Stephen Amell, and of course that was just announced over the weekend, former WWE champion Rey Mysterio will also be making an appearance. A fantastic lineup, lads, and so surprising that it only took 30 minutes for the show to sell out.
I still find it really weird that you can just mention the Green Arrow just randomly in there with all these big wrestling superstars.
Well, he has a 1-0 record in professional wrestling, so
He's the draw.
exactly.
Vigilante Club.
Vigilante Club, exactly. Not many of us have our own T-shirt.
It's true.
You know,
Or figure.
or figure, exactly.
Or comic
you
book.
know, or comic book. Like, what
TV
is
show.
this just going to turn into a show of things that we don't have?
We'll be here all night.
We'll be here all night.
I've
I've
got
only
a
got a
mug.
time scale. You've got a mug.
Yeah, I've got a mug.
I've got an ugly mug. But
I'll take the lead on that one. Actually, I'm really not surprised, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I felt with the guys that were involved, marketing wise, you
Yeah.
know, that it was bound to happen. Now, to say that I thought that it would sell out in 30 minutes, yeah, it was. But I
yeah.
knew it would sell out like really quick.
yeah, I agree. I think the timing is the most surprising
Yeah,
thing.
I agree.
I thought it would sell out as well eventually. Like, I didn't think it.
I would have given
think
it. I
maybe
would have given it
closer
a few
to the
days
time.
though. I would have given it a few
Yeah,
days.
I think maybe not even a couple of days. I would have think closer to the event they might have had a big sign, a big name announced,
Yeah.
and then that would have finished the rest of the sales off, and then
Yeah.
that's everybody going. Like, I've seen people tweet the Young Bucks in the last couple of days since obviously the announcement of when tickets are on sale and stuff, and people are coming from all over the world to see this show. There's people coming from Ireland, there's people coming from Japan, everywhere to see this show, and it just shows how popular the Young Bucks and Cody and like the whole Bullet Club in general have become, and how this a lot of people are saying this is bringing hope to independent wrestling as well, that these are all independent performers that are going to be performing in front of 10,000 people. This is the first time a non-WWE wrestling event has sold over 10,000 tickets since WCW in the United States.
Yeah, I would say there. I think it shows how popular wrestling has become.
Yeah.
Not just because of the guys that are doing it, but how big wrestling has become. You know, we don't have the WCWs or the ECWs anymore. So our source of, well, a lot of people's source of wrestling would be to see the likes of the Young Bucks and see, you know, who can they get involved in it. You know,
Yeah.
Okada on American soil again.
Yeah.
That's a big one
Yeah.
for me, and for a lot of people.
Yeah. There is a
Um,
lot of rumor actually that all New Japan titles are going to be defended at this show.
Yeah, I'm sure there's probably a little bit of back
Yeah.
in there from New Japan.
I'd say so.
Blessing, let's call it
blessing,
blessing.
yeah.
yeah, more than anything else. What do you think?
I think it's like, as you said there, with the names that are involved, and what Daragh said, indie wrestling is really on the up. I think, as myself, someone who got into indie wrestling only about 2 years ago, when you first see it, it's that alternative to WWE. It's something different, and
Yeah.
these guys are doing it so well. And as you said, I thought it'd sell out, but 30 minutes is wow. I think Dave Meltzer might have accidentally given them a bit of free marketing there as well, because people love to prove other people wrong.
I would have loved to have found what Vince's reaction was to it. 30 minutes, 10,000 seats gone.
I'd say it was positive, to be honest.
I'd say he'd welcome the competition for sure.
Well, it's not really competition.
Well, I'd love it to be competition, because I think they're resting, like WWE have rested on their laurels for the last couple of years, where they know they have the draw in the United States. But the fact that it's a faction, it's not a company, it's a faction of a company that has done this.
All right, well, you know, I'll give you one. In the 80s,
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan was able to sell out like an arena, surely on his own. Fact.
Yeah.
On his own.
But he always had the WWE title behind him, if you know what I mean.
No, but even without the WWE.
I know people wanted to see, like, and how, like, obviously they'd want to go and see Andre the Giant as well. He could probably sell out arenas
Yeah,
by
exactly.
himself too.
Yeah. Which he did.
He did, exactly.
You know, between
Yeah.
him, North America and Canada. Yeah.
Exactly. But like, especially nowadays, it's totally different. The fact that there is, because obviously you don't have the access back. They didn't have the access back then that they do now, and the fact that they have that access and they still chose to sell out this place in 30 minutes. Like, if you maybe discount WrestleMania, maybe the big four shows, would any WWE show sell 10,000 tickets in less than 30 minutes?
Look, I think comparing it to a WWE show, I think will be the wrong route to go, purely because it's a nostalgic thing. It's not even a nostalgic
it's a
thing.
Once-off
It's a once-off thing.
Yeah.
It's like that stupid idiot that has caused traffic in Dublin today, Ed Sheeran, said that he was going to do a once-off show in a small bar.
Yeah.
In Dublin, I mean, it's probably the wrong kind of analogy, but you know the point
I know
I'm
what you're trying to get at. Yeah,
it's something that right. Okay, say you two broke up tomorrow, and Larry Mullen Jr. decided to go and do a little show on his own in the academy. He'd sell it out within seconds. Yeah, because it's him. Yeah, and I think that's what you've got here. You've got a roster of guys here that are really over workers. And I think I think it's an amazing thing, to be honest, because I always like to see all the guys get paid, and they're gonna get paid.
Oh yeah.
But I think Vince will be looking at this as a good thing. I honestly do.
Do you think that it could turn into something like maybe if not yearly, but every 6 months that they could possibly continue doing if it continues to be that successful?
I think depending on how it goes, there obviously. Marketing wise and selling tickets wise, it has gone better than probably even they expected. Yeah. I think seeing how it goes on the night, seeing the reaction from the crowd, if I was them, it would be in my head, why not try this again in another few months? See if we can do it again.
I think they'd be crazy not to.
Yeah.
For sure.
I think what it's definitely going to do is get a whole lot of potential investors and possible promoters to realise that, wow, if pro wrestlers can put this on themselves and promote it themselves, why aren't we looking at this? So I think it definitely opens up doors in a lot of ways. It opens up a lot of possibilities, I think. So I I didn't want to give away the secrets there. Sorry, I was standing away. I was staying away from the mic because there's a lot of slime promoters out there too. No, I do. I have a feeling that a lot of
always get the good with the bad.
But that's exactly it. So I do think that it could potentially open up a lot of doors to investors, promoters, and whatnot, thinking if they wanted to dip their toe into the water, which is always welcomed in the wrestling business, especially anything outside of WWE. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's a win-win for absolutely everybody.
Excellent. We saw some names announced in the new story, including Rey Mysterio. We're going to move on to the next story.
My man CM Punk will be making a wrestling-related appearance in Chicago all weekend. Okay, so Pro Wrestling Tees has announced that former WWE superstar turned UFC fighter CM Punk will be making a meet and greet appearance at their store in Chicago, Illinois on August 31st, just 1 day prior to the All-In event. The self-financed events being put together by Cody and the Young Bucks, Matt Jackson and Nick Jackson. Pro Wrestling Tees announced that the autographs or photos for the meet and greet will be priced at $50 each, or a combination package priced at $90. Tickets for the meet and greet will be limited and go on sale on May 23rd at 1 p.m. Eastern, noon Central Time. So, see, I was kidding with this. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. You're doing terrible things to me now for trying to get timings right for shows. But so what do you think? CM Punk, an appearance, Pro Wrestling Tees in Chicago, same weekend as All In. Obviously, this is going to start the rumours. Is it just too obvious?
Yeah, I think Punk, to me, hasn't seemed like he really wants to dip his toe back in just yet. I could be wrong. He's your guy.
He's not really.
Yeah. I thought we were keeping kayfabe with that.
No, yeah, but it was definitely... No.
He's his doppelganger. That's what it is.
Doppelganger, that's all it is. That's all it is.
Yeah, I just think at the moment he's making his appearance, obviously doing something for the fans. I think at the moment he's focused. He has a UFC fight coming up soon, so I'm not sure whether he'd want to dip his toe back into the wrestling world.
That's the 23rd of June that his fight is.
Yeah,
the 9th.
All In's not
so actually the 9th.
9th of June.
No, it's my birthday night. It's a Saturday, so it's it's really kind of I don't know, it's strange
that's,
timing,
that's,
isn't it?
That's more than enough time to recover from getting another beating, so that's alright.
You think that?
No, I'm only messing.
It's
I don't.
possible.
I don't. It is possible.
It's probable.
Look, we haven't seen anything. Hopefully, they don't like have cameras following the whole time. This time, now.
I think that's the best route to go, isn't it?
Just
Just
leave it by
keep
himself.
it behind closed doors and
Leave
see
it by
what
himself.
we got. But no, in terms of just if I could chime in on that one, in terms of him possibly making an appearance, to me that smells of Punk knowing that people would expect that, and him kind of cashing in on it and maybe going, hey, let's sell some t-shirts.
Of course.
Pro wrestling tees are,
Yeah.
probably number one.
Yep.
And I think it's just a really good business venture on Punk's part.
Yeah.
If he does make an appearance, happy days for a lot of people.
Do you think that news coming out during the week? I think it was like 2 or 3 days before tickets went on sale for All In. Do you think that news affected ticket sales, like hyping the sale, like quickened the sale of them?
Yeah.
Just because they want to be there for the chance
Yeah.
that CM Punk could show up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, I can see that. You always want to. It's one of them moments. If he does show up, people are going to ask, "Where were you?"
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
people want to say, "I was sitting in this chair in this row."
Yeah,
Definitely.
exactly.
And Punk waved at me. It was great.
It's kind of like didn't Jim Cornette kind of say that when they first got that idea going?
Yeah,
Jim Cornette was actually very much behind it, even though he has an issue with a lot of the guys involved. He was kind of really hoping for it, and he was one of the guys that believed that it could happen, but with the Punk influence. And I think they probably listened to Jim Cornette and went, hey, Punk, help us out a little bit by maybe timing this
scratch
perfection."
way back with
Yeah.
scratch wares,
So
yeah, because it's a nice little price, isn't it, though, to get a picture and an autograph, paying $90 for.
Yeah.
$50
For
for a
either a
meet and
picture,
greet.
yeah, either a picture or an autograph, or if you want both, you got to pay $90.
$90.
And how many tickets? You're probably going to get like what, maybe 300, I think.
What would your honest guess be with that one, like, especially with a pro wrestling tees event? I'm thinking
Depends on how long he's going to be there.
August
for.
31st. 1 day prior to the All-In event, 1 day,
So
a
the
day
city's-
before it.
City's going to be packed as
Yeah.
it is. So
I'm thinking at least 2,000 to 3,000 if it's 1 day
Yeah.
prior,
Yeah,
especially with all the crazy Irish and European fans.
true. Very true.
You know?
Very true. We'll move on from All In. I'm sure we'll be talking about it more as the event draws closer. But another former WWE superstar has popped up at a promotion. This time, the Chinless Wonder.
that's right, Mr. No Chin Music himself, James Ellsworth, has appeared at an Impact Wrestling live show. James Ellsworth, who had a dream run in WWE not too long ago, he was released from his contract last year, but has been an active competitor in the independent circuit ever since. Now, from all indications, he could be headed to Impact Wrestling. Not only did Ellsworth show up at an event associated with the company, but also put out a tweet teasing an Impact Wrestling run. He tweeted, "Well, there you have it, but is it time for me to make even more of an impact?"
It's an interesting one. Very interesting. I'd like to see what they would do over there with James Ellsworth, because they have some good guys now looking after Impact. The likes of Jimmy Jacobs. They got Don Callis there as well now at the moment too. So they've got some. I think who else is it? It's one that I think Abyss is really involved backstage as well too. So they're in a good place at the moment. So it'd be interesting. Like, would you have Ellsworth there? I guess you have sort of drawing power already, really, don't you?
Listen, forget Mella. Jimmy is money.
Jimmy is money. Jimmy is money, exactly. The first ever winner of the female Money in the Bank match, of course. I think it could be a good move for him. It's still like, it puts him on. See, I have to use the term sparingly, but a major promotion. But it still also gives him the opportunity to work indie dates as well, because they batch film their show. So it puts him on a national television. He exposes himself to a national television audience. And then he also goes and does his indie work, which then keeps the money rolling in. Like, it seems like a win-win.
It's great for him, for sure. It's definitely great for him. In terms of drawing power, I mean, they've had some pretty big stars over the years, and not being able to do anything with it. So I don't really see James Ellsworth, kind of changing the game in any way for them. But at the same time, if used right, with the guys that you've just mentioned, it's definitely good for him. And look, it can only be good for everybody involved, in the sense that hopefully he's able to bring something to the table and get involved in some storylines that will get people talking.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, like, that's thing, people still find them popular and stuff like that. So I think it's good for it's the perfect time for Impact to bring him in now, so that they can sort of use that to help promote themselves, and he can promote himself by using Impact as well. So yeah, like I said, everybody I think could win from this situation.
Yeah.
I can't see it going wrong. One person who looks like he's going to debut for Impact where it could go wrong is Rich Swann, because Impact Wrestling announced earlier this week that former WWE Cruiserweight Champion Rich Swann will debut for the company at their June 1st and June 2nd television tapings at St. Clair College in Windsor, Ontario, Canada. Now, we're all familiar with the circumstances behind his release from WWE. Is this a bad move for Impact to bring him in?
I don't know. It's like, I know a lot of fans will just think of obviously the controversy, but then there's a lot of fans who also just want to see the talent, and they will remember from WWE he's an amazing competitor, and I think it's going to have a 50-50 effect. You know what I mean? I think half the fans are going to be like, they want to go see Rich Swann perform live, and the other are going to be like, nah, this guy's a so and so. Yeah, it's hard to tell. It's still early days on it. So all I could say is I'm going to be on the fence and say just have to wait and see.
Yeah. Okay, fair. What you thinking?
Yeah, it's kind of like something WWE would have done back in the day. I'm not sure whether you've heard the episode of Something to Wrestle with Bruce Pritchard. No. Where they talked about in the 1996 WrestleMania, which I believe was WrestleMania 12, the Goldust and Roddy Piper match. That was actually scheduled to be Roddy Piper v O.J. Simpson, believe it or not.
No.
It was just shortly after the 100%. It was just shortly after the whole OJ's free thing, and America was still in uproar, and they had serious talks about him coming in, and Vince and Roddy especially, I'd say, you're coming in to get your ass beaten. And that's what's going to happen. You're going to get your ass kicked, and you're going to get paid to do it. Eventually, they
didn't go through with it. Yeah.
But no, that's a legit thing. Look it up. It's 100% true.
That's crazy.
There's something I brought to your show now that no one probably knew unless they were listening to that. But that's 100% true.
Yeah.
So I think with this kind of thing, I don't know. I'm always kind of on the fence with it.
Now, myself and Dave had multiple discussions about this.
I've heard most
at
of them.
At the end of the day, he is innocent. He's never been actually convicted of a crime.
That's also true.
Which means he should be able to work in whichever company that he wants.
Yep. I agree. Yep.
You know,
and that was the next point I was going to make.
Yeah.
The whole innocent till proven guilty thing in the last 3 years seems to have gotten thrown by the wayside.
Yeah.
And people forget that.
Yeah.
There's too many social justice warriors. You need to let people be able to, if someone's guilty of something, then let the law take its course. He wasn't, so.
Yeah. See, nowadays it's more a report comes out about you, you're guilty.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
It's guilty until
hung drawn and quartered.
Yeah, exactly.
Guilty until proven innocent is basically the way it is.
But sometimes when
it's
they're proved innocent, it's still people are still
that's it.
Still think he did it.
It's flip reversed. It's flip reversed. So I mean, I'm only talking about. I'm not talking about Rich himself. Whether he should be able to work. I think the guy should be able to work. I'm just thinking more from. I hope people are able to kind of separate everything that's happened, and it works out for both of them, and hopefully there's going to be a prosperous relationship there, and
Fingers
hopefully
crossed.
hopefully he's whatever issues he's had or may not have had, I just hope he's good
Yeah.
more than anything else.
Yeah, I still can't get that OJ thing out of my head.
That's
I
crazy.
think it like the first time you mentioned there, I was like, maybe it didn't go ahead because his gloves wouldn't fit.
The glove wouldn't have fit.
The gloves.
I'll tell you one thing, the pipe band would have Roddy would have made sure he got his ass kicked.
We'll move on though, and we'll
Yep.
move on to will we say not the biggest love story of the summer or the most tragic one, but
Yes.
John Cena has been on TV this week discussing why himself and Nikki Bella broke off their engagement.
Yeah, this is going to be the best piece of news I've ever presented. Actually, it's and it reads: John Cena still wants to marry Nikki Bella. It looks like John Cena and Nikki Bella's love story may not be as over as it appeared to be for all you lovebirds. The WWE stars ended their relationship last month, shortly before they were set to head down the aisle. The couple were together for 6 years, and in April of 2017, Cena popped the question at WrestleMania 33, which we definitely all remember. Bella posted news of their split on her official Instagram account. I quote, "While this decision was a difficult one, we continue to have a great deal of love and respect for one another." She wrote, "We ask that you respect our privacy during this time in our lives." But during an appearance on Monday today, Cena said he had his heart broken out of nowhere and has been incredibly reflective since their breakup. "I still love Nicole. I still would love to marry Nicole. I still would love to have a family with Nicole," he said. "There was an unfortunate set of circumstances where a relationship ended." On the other side, Nikki Bella is holding out hope for a reconciliation with her former fiancé John Cena. 1 month after Bella and Cena announced they had called off their engagement, the WWE diva told ET's Leanne Aguilera that she's doing good, but admits there are good days and bad days in her life without Cena. "John is such an amazing guy. He really is the love of my life," Bella shared with ET at NBC Universal's upfront presentation in New York City on Monday. "I truly hope one day that we can work it out and get back together. I think there is hope." According to the 34-year-old wrestler and reality TV star, she has one clear wish for her and her former flame: "I just want us both to live the rest of our lives happy. Hopefully that's together, maybe it's not. Right now I'm just focusing on me," she added. "I think I kind of lost me and now I want to find myself." Wow.
Okay.
It was a long one. I like that.
So people are instantly going to think, well, wrestling fans definitely are going to think it's a work.
Yeah.
Is it a work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for love, you know. After reading that, my heart melted. This is Ian the Dynamo Kelly saying this. No, you know what? You know what? I don't want to be that guy that says it's a work. I look at, I read those comments and I kind of go, it sounds like it's very, very possible that there's been a work here involving the ETV's guys, and you're dealing with two professional wrestlers that are very well capable of pulling that off. So I will put that to you guys. What do you guys think on that?
It's actually funny we mentioned this off air, and I think the point made, like, they needed a hook for the show. The first season of Total Bellas, obviously the hook was Daniel Bryan having to retire and him trying to cope with the fact that he was retiring. They needed something like that. They needed a storyline to go through the whole next season. Now obviously we haven't seen any of the seasons yet. There was a trailer, and one of the focal points of the trailer was them having a conversation in the bedroom talking about ending it.
Yeah.
So we know it's going to be part of the show.
Yeah.
I think either or. It's highly possible it's a work, highly possible it's not. It's like as you said, they need a hook. Like an entertainment thing. Look at Kanye just before he releases any album. He does something to bring attention to himself.
Of course,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. So it could be that, like, you know, it could be an inside job, or it could really just be that the differences were too much and it was caught on camera while filming Total Bellas.
Yeah.
It's reality stuff. Like, I mean, last night, my better half was watching like the it was, I don't know what you would call it, but it was like the rekindling of the Jersey Shore.
The Jersey Shore reunion.
And
Okay.
a reunion, yeah, something like that. And I came in at the tail end of it. Like, it's one of those kind of things where you don't even need to know what's going on. You're just like, oh, that's happening.
Yeah.
And it's just so almost scripted, where you're like, just get the boys drunk and just get them to come in and tell them there's a plot, and they'll follow it. So I think anything that involves television, if it was a real private thing, that's what leaves that little seed of doubt in people. So
Yeah, I think it could be a thing that reality TV has become so far gone from actual reality now that they need to do something to get people back into it. So actually transferring it outside of the camera and into real life gets that draw,
yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And you probably get a 2-week build-up before that episode where they break it off, and it's probably going to be one of the highest rated episodes that either Total Bellas or Total Divas has ever had.
Yeah.
So I don't want it to be a work solely because I don't want emotions to be played like that.
People's personal relationships.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't put it on sale.
Exactly. Then again, what are they doing it for the viewership? Was the Miz right all along? Was he? That
There
this
we
was
go.
all just for show.
He knows a thing or two
You
about
know?
reality TV.
Yeah.
You know?
Obviously, he has his show coming out, Miz and Mrs., isn't it? That's
Yeah.
coming out soon as well.
Finally gets back to the real world then.
I know.
Just drop that in.
Oh, the real world. Wow.
Yeah.
But look, all we can do is wait and see.
That's it. Yeah.
Like, love to see a John Cena Nikki Bella wedding. You'd love to see
Yeah.
John Cena Nikki Bella baby.
John Cena Jr. Just
John Cena Jr., you know. But unfortunately, I think it's going to be the case where we really can't see him
yeah.
because it's not going to happen. But
Yeah.
we'll move on. And Peter, we just found out actually today that WWE has announced that they've unveiled, the first 8 names of the UK tournament taking place next month.
They have indeed. While they are on this continent and in the country or colony of the UK.
Colony, okay, country, colony,
Whatever you want to call them.
There's no need to get like Republican on me in this show. Come on, we'll just
I
be
don't
nice,
even know
alright?
what Republican means. WWE has fired up promotion for their next United Kingdom Championship Tournament event. 2 shows will take place at London's Royal Albert Hall next month, and today the company unveiled the first 8 men who will compete for a shot at Pete Dunne's UK title. So here are the names, some of which are already contracted to the company, many of whom will be familiar to followers of hashtag BritRes promotions.
I hate that hashtag so much.
It's so hard to pronounce.
I hate that
How
hashtag.
do you say it? My mouth feels weird saying it.
BritRes. Just call it British wrestling.
Yeah. There's followers to that, like Progress, and some who've been long rumoured to be joining the WWE as soon as their efforts to start a regular UK show get off the ground. Here are the names. We have Joe Coffey, Joseph Connors, El Ligero, Zach Gibson, Jack Gallagher, Amir Jordan, Dave Mastiff, and Kenny Williams. The final 8 entrants will be revealed on Friday, May 18th, and the opening rounds of the tournament will be held at NXT shows at Download Festival from June 8th to June 10th. It is not clear what the plans for taping and broadcasting those matches might be, but the tournament semi-finals and finals will take place in London on June 18th, with the winner facing Dunne on the 19th. That is not much of a rest period after winning that tournament.
No, not at all. And they're taking a different approach this year than they did last year. Obviously, if you remember, did you watch it last year, the UK tournament?
I caught the odd bits.
Yeah.
I was just last year. I was actually just setting up my show at the time, so I was
already busy at the
yeah.
Well, like last year they had the 16 men round robin tournament over 2 nights, and that's how they crowned the first ever champion. Of course, Tyler Bate won it. This year that they're only going to be having the semi-finals and finals on the first night, and then them facing Dunn on the second night. Now, the Undisputed Area have been confirmed to take part as well. They'll be defending their titles at it too, so that looks like it'll be second night. There are some really interesting names there. Now, of course, one name that springs up is 205 Live's Jack Gallagher at the moment, so he'll be going back and taking part in the tournament too. Also Joseph Connors, who took part, and Kenny Williams as well. They both took part last year, so they're back again this year, which is really good. No, Kenny Williams, no, he didn't take part last year. Sorry, my mistake.
No,
he didn't. Also, some really good names that I'm delighted to see. The likes of Joe Coffey there, who was actually only in Ireland a couple of months ago, taking part in the Contenders show. Had some really great matches with Michael May. You should really check them out to see what's Coffey is going to bring.
Great worker.
Really, really good worker. I am delighted, and I talked to Dave about this when we were trying to think of names who could go into it this year. El Ligero. He is probably the hardest working wrestler in the UK at the moment. Doing multiple shows almost every day, travelling up and down the breadth of the country to take part. That man lives and breathes wrestling. I'm delighted that he's getting his chance now to show off in the UK tournament. I am also the likes of Liverpool's number 1, Zach Gibson, of course, after seeing him on Saturday, Peter, at Scappermania. Hopefully this time a drink won't be thrown at him.
Yeah, hopefully he comes out with a drink, but like, fans, if you want to give him a drink, at least hand it to him.
Hand it to him, yeah.
He's focused. Hand-eye coordination.
Hazards are the job, lads. Hazards are the job. As long as it's not glass. And it's not,
Dave Mastiff as well.
I'm very, very happy to see that one.
Yeah, great to see Dave there. Great worker. Kind of like Keith Lee before Keith Lee was Keith Lee. If you want something like that, like really big guy, but he can move.
That's a great way. That's a great way of saying that. Actually. Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Keith Lee was Dave Mastiff.
Yeah,
he's an American Dave Mastiff.
Very much so, yeah.
I can't say I know a lot about Amir Jordan now myself, but if anybody has heard of him before, please shout.
I don't know much. No, I don't. I heard good things though.
Yeah. Must be good to be taking part. Now, he's been involved a lot recently with the likes of Progress as well, and I think Rev Pro he's been working with too. Yeah. So great news there for those, and of course by the time you hear this podcast, the other names will be revealed, but hopefully it's as good as the first half. Now,
you know what's a good thing, if you don't mind me saying, just dropping this in.
Yeah.
Even better is that the opening rounds of the tournament, they're at the Download Festival, but it's between my birthday weekend. So you're going to be hanging out with me on my birthday weekend when you think about it.
Yeah.
Because it's from the 8th to the 10th, and I'm on the 9th. I'm in the middle.
True. That's true.
And we've got CM Punk that night as well. It's
true.
Literally, that's a crazy weekend for wrestling fans, actually.
That is a mental weekend. And the thing is with Download as well, like I stopped going to Download I think 2 years before they started doing this. And
Castle Dunnington.
I really want to go back now just to see these shows.
Yeah.
Because I hear great reviews about what NXT, because they put it on for the whole day. I think they have they have an hour on, hour off, hour on, hour off, hour on, hour off. And it has, I think, some of the biggest attendances throughout the day. Now, late at night when the main acts are on, they're not going to be there, obviously, because the main acts have to have their time.
Of course.
There during the day, if you don't want to take a break from the bands and you don't want to go all the way back to the country, just go and watch a bit of wrestling.
You want to rest your neck for Slayer.
Exactly.
Just go and see some. Remember the video footage of Corey Taylor slapping Baron Corbin?
Yes.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. That was at Download.
That was at Download as well. But look, we'll see what happens there. Like they said, there's no idea whether with the tapings and stuff. I'm sure they will be taped and be shown at a future event, at a future time or something like that. But we'll move on very quickly, and we'll move on to our last story. It's involving Enzo Amore. And one of the only few social media posts since he was released by WWE following accusations of rape. Enzo Amore, of course, real name Eric Arndt, I think it is. Arndt. Dutch, is it? Arndt. Has tweeted a letter from his legal counsel indicated authorities in Phoenix have informed him that he will not be charged with any crimes in relation to the alleged incident. The letter also contradicts a previous report which claims Arndt was aware of the allegations for some time before they became public. It was speculated that a failure to inform WWE before his accuser took her allegations online was one of the reasons the company decided to let him go in the absence of charges. It closes by saying Arndt is planning a return to the entertainment business. Lack of evidence doesn't mean innocent though in all time.
No, with that one definitely
Yeah.
it's very, very like that's compared to what we were talking earlier.
Yeah.
This one's still a little bit shady,
Mm-hmm.
and I think Enzo, we've all, because I mean, as soon as I heard all this kind of craziness, I was checking out, you know, the Instagram of all parties.
Yeah.
Not because I was trying to be a cop, but just to kind of see.
Yeah.
And a lot of the people that he was hanging around with look shady as well, like on his buddies.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, I wouldn't like to make many comments on that one, to be
No.
fair.
It is interesting though, because I think the last time myself and yourself were hanging out, I think it was the night of the David Hay fight, we spoke a little about this.
Yeah,
And
we did. Yeah.
We spoke about how WWE tried their best to try and get Enzo on the right track.
Yep.
And we talked about how earlier on that year, WWE did their European tour and they came to Ireland.
They placed him. Yeah.
He stayed with Finn the whole time.
In Bray, in the parents'
In
house.
Bray, went home to Finn's house.
Yeah.
Went to one of the pubs in Bray. I can't remember the name of it.
We were down at the Martello in Bray. Yeah.
The Martel. Yeah. Stayed with him the whole time. Stayed with his family and everything. I think that was them trying to get Finn
Be an influence.
To be
on
an
him,
influence,
a
exactly.
role
Positive
model.
influence.
to
Yeah.
try and just get Enzo on the straight, because they obviously saw something there with Enzo, and like his promos are always good. He had, like, obviously people criticize his in-ring skill, but he could always improve on that. But he had the talent on the mic that
had
could have kept
that
him going.
charisma, that
Exactly.
kinda-
He had something that can't be.
You can't teach.
No, exactly.
You can't teach.
Exactly, I
You're
agree.
either born with it or you're not.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, you can learn all the wrestling moves in the world. Like, that's no problem. But
You
if you
can
don't have that,
become a. You can become a what I would say a savvy enough wrestler in the sense that you know what to do. Case in point, Ultimate Warrior. You know what I mean? You can Bill Goldberg. You can learn what you need to do to be able to tell a story in there.
Yeah.
But you cannot teach what Enzo has, should I
Yeah.
say? And that's natural charisma and be able to kind of get a crowd either hating you or loving you, and so therefore I agree.
Do you think, I know we don't want to talk, like, harp on much about the legal side of it, but just looking at the fact that the last line of that news report, that he's planning a return to the entertainment business, can you actually see promotions taking a chance with him?
No, not wrestling promotions.
No.
I think the fact, also the line before that, you know, that you made at the start, is that it's not 100% that there was no harm, no foul. You know what I mean?
Exactly,
So it's just a little
See, all
bit.
that is just no smoke without fire.
Exactly, it's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
a little bit of edginess there, like, you know,
Grey area, kind of just.
It is a very grey area, and I don't want to accuse anybody of anything. So, but no, I think a wrestling company would be very wrong to take a chance on Enzo. I'm being honest. Like a TNA and all that, I think they would be smart enough to stay away from that kind of thing.
I do. See, the thing is, if you look at it in terms of me trying to look at it through a promoter's eyes at the moment,
Okay.
especially for an independent promotion, the amount of attention, not even worldwide, that promotion will get if they are the first ones to announce Enzo is going to appear on their show. I know it's going to be negative, but they always say no publicity.
No press is bad press.
Exactly.
But it's a thing as well. They have to protect their wrestlers. Okay, when you look at it, if Enzo's coming down, especially with these kind of allegations, people are going to be overly heated, and I wouldn't put it past people to be chucking stuff in the ring at at him.
People, I think, would threaten a boycott, and like
we're living in a world of like extreme everything. Like feminism is extreme now. Like feminism in theory is a great concept. You know what I mean? I'm a feminist. The biggest people in my life are women.
Yeah.
But you've extreme versions of it. You've extreme versions of, you know, the social justice warriors who just literally want bait. They want to kill everybody.
Yeah.
You know. So I agree with your point there. It'd be a high risk deal, to be honest with you. If someone was brave enough to take it, then I'd love to see what could transpire. But being honest with you, I would advise until it gets further down the line. I mean, it can't go anywhere from that, can it? No. Because there's no case in point. It's just not enough evidence. Yeah, that's you know, O.J. Simpson. Yeah. You know, we go back to O.J.
I think
unless he goes for a promotion to get his ass kicked.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
I think
Roddy Piper, rest in peace, my brother. What a man.
I think an important line there as well, sorry for dragging this on, is that the entertainment business, it doesn't specify the wrestling business. I know that's entertainment as well.
Music, I reckon he's going to get involved in some sort of stupid rap group.
I could see him on some YouTube channel.
Yeah, like
he
some
could
sort
start
of
a YouTube
because he was
channel
hanging around with a lot of these kind of guys that were, you know, they looked like they were, you know, wannabe rappers, and they had a bit of a YouTube gimmick going on for themselves.
Well, that's actually, you could have just hit the nail on the head there by just exploring that other thing.
Social media. Yeah.
Social media also, but you get a film crew in there, you document the year that he's had, and I'm bet you he's already doing it where he's documenting, trying to prove that he was innocent.
Selfie
and stuff like
videos,
that.
you know, day one.
Company or television companies or production companies are gonna pick that up.
Oh yeah, they'll be a lot more soulless than say a wrestling promotion. Believe it or not,
news channels looking for that first interview. As well.
TMZ just out there waiting.
Exactly.
Waiting. Yeah.
Exactly. But it's interesting that you did say that. That it looks probably more the entertainment side than the wrestling side that he's going to end up going to.
That makes sense.
But we'll see what happens in the future anyway for him. And that is actually all the news for this week. A really long news piece. I really like it. Some nice, good discussion. But once we come back from the break, we're going to be talking about a special weekend it was for Irish wrestling with OTT Scappermania and then Contenders 9.
In the future, roving bands of comic book podcasts will savage the wasteland, once known as the Internet. One podcast, the Grolix Podcast, may not be the biggest, may not be the funniest, may not be the most well-spoken. Wait, what was my point again? Oh yes, the Grolix Podcast. Listen to it at grolixpodcast.com. That's GRAWLIX podcast.com.
And welcome back to the Kickouts here with myself, Daragh, and of course I have Peter and Ian with me too. So after the news, it's time to talk about our reviews of the week.
Oh my God! What the hell is going on? Oh my God!
And we're going to start with OTT Scappermania. A fantastic weekend for Irish wrestling. First of all, starting with the National Stadium show, their fourth National Stadium show in under a year. Of course, where Scappermania last year was their first one, and this one. And Peter, you were there with me on Saturday. What a card!
Wow!
What a show!
Just wow!
Yeah.
Just the quality of wrestling, the stadium itself, the drink deals.
Yeah.
Everything was just spot on. It was, for my first kind of big stadium indie show, it was, it couldn't have went better.
Exactly. I think everything seemed to be on point. It was like it seemed like one of those shows where, like, if we ever had Joe on the show and we talked to him, like, we'd say everything on that show went right, and he'd be like, no, this went wrong, this went wrong. And like a million things probably went wrong before the show, and I'm sure when it went on, like, there was obviously some instance later on in the night that we'll get into that were kind of a little hairy at times, but in general, all the matches were fantastic. The crowd was electric. All the performers were on top were on top of their game, and it started off with a bang with 6-man tag, which then turned into the triple threat. So, Ian, you weren't there on Saturday.
No.
You were aware of the card, were you, beforehand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't have the full card, but I had a pretty good idea of most of it. So
Okay, so the first match on the card was the 6-man tag, the team of LJ Cleary, David Starr, and Shane Strickland against Tyler Bate, Mark Haskins, and Scotty Davis. Now, this wasn't just a traditional 6-man match, because 6-man tag match, because then the winning team would go straight into a triple threat match, and the winner of that triple threat match would win a golden contract to choose when he wants to go up against the OTT World Champion. Fantastic opening. Shane Strickland's entrance alone was worth the entrance money. That man's picture is beside the definition of swag in the dictionary.
I said to you at the show, I never understood what swag was. Now I do.
Yeah.
It's like I never knew what it was, but he walked out. I was like, there we go. That's swag.
Yeah. Exactly. Of course, the current gender-neutral champion as well, LJ Cleary.
He was fantastic in that match.
He was brilliant.
I loved him in that match.
His charisma in the ring, like we were saying that previously, Enzo has something that he can't teach, charisma. It's the same with LJ. The charisma that he has, no one can teach, and his accompanied with his in-ring ability as well. For someone who is so, and we say it all the time on the show, disgustingly young,
Yeah.
is fantastic.
Like, I look at the likes of him, and then like Scotty Davis. I'm like
Scotty Davis as
and
well.
I look
yeah.
at myself in the mirror, and it's like, what have you done with your life?
but he's a product of Fight Factory. Would you expect
Exactly.
any less?
That is true.
True.
That is true.
Do you know?
That is very true. And he wasn't, of course, he's not the only one from Fight Factory that was there over the weekend. We'll get into that
exactly.
soon.
We will.
But a really, really good opening match. David Starr, I think, was probably the MVP of this match.
Yeah.
I would say. He was absolutely fantastic. A really, really good wrestler, as we've seen beforehand. But in the end, though, it was actually the team of Haskins with a newfound aggression in his style.
was
now
very aggressive.
he is not happy that he lost the OTT Championship and he hasn't gotten his rematch. So he has made sure that anyone that gets in his way is going to suffer, and that is exactly what LJ, David, and Shane did, eventually losing the match. And going straight into the triple threat match, which was going straight into it as well.
Yeah, it was. If
There
you
was
blink,
no
you miss
letting
it.
up. Yeah, there was no letting up. The three put on another great match as well. Scotty Davis as well was fantastic.
Yeah, brilliant.
As always.
As always, exactly. For a guy who's only 16, 17 as well.
17, man. Good Lord.
Fantastic. Like, he has a extensive, for only being 17, an extensive amateur wrestling background as well. He's Irish wrestling, freestyle wrestling champion, as well as UK, I think twice in the UK championship. It was, though, Tyler Bate who hit Scotty Davis with the Tyler driver, and looked like he was going to pick up the win, but Haskins out of nowhere super kicked Bate, threw him out of the ring, and pinned Davis for the 1, 2, 3. Gets the golden briefcase, and importantly, he gets his title rematch whenever he wants. So a very, very good opening match. Moving on then to the next match, Kings of the North against Aussie Open and Adam Brooks. Another 6-man tag. Now, of course, Peter, you weren't too aware beforehand, but Kings of the North were having some problems for a while before this match. They had previously been OTT Tag Champions and gone unbeaten for over a year. They lost the titles in a cage match against the Rapture, the current Tag Team Champions, and since then they've been on a losing streak. Tensions were frayed. It looked as though maybe we could be seeing the end of the Kings of the North, but we saw the old Kings in this match, and they performed fantastically against a great Aussie Open side and an Adam Brooks who will do anything to win.
Yeah. It was, Kings of the North are just they were an absolute force to be reckoned with in this match. Just aggression, just teamwork. There was one stage where one of them knocked the other off the apron, and I kind of nudged you because you had mentioned to me previously about the.
Yeah.
I was like, is this it? Is this where they're gonna have their
where it's
troubles?
gonna-
But
yeah.
no, they recovered from that. And again, I mentioned the Kings of the North a lot. Aussie Open were fantastic as well. They were my first time seeing them,
Yeah.
and I was very impressed with the ring gear and the entrance gear. But as well, their in-ring ability was amazing. Had me on the edge of my seat the entire match.
Yeah. Ian, you obviously are fairly familiar with the Kings as well yourself. I think going back to the days with both Bonesaw and Duncan the Sorley
Good
as
buddies,
well.
all three.
All three, yeah,
Yeah.
and Corvin as well.
Yeah.
Don't forget.
Corbin being the key one.
Yeah.
He's one of my best buddies. No, they. And by the way, OTT do love a good 6-man.
Yeah.
They do, but they do it well, and that's the great thing about it. I think the Kings of the North have such a quality. The three guys, in general, are just absolutely amazing workers. They love the business, they breathe the business, they live the business. Everything that they do is just about the business. I mean, have you seen some of the work that they do behind the scenes as well? And one of them, I'm not going to mention who, makes amazing custom figures as well. You ever seen that?
No, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You'll have to tell me off air if I can guess.
I will.
Yeah.
You know it's not Corbin.
No, Corvin pretty much at the moment for me is kind of like, everyone has like that.
I believe Corbin has a lot. Corbin reminds me a lot of Randy Orton. In a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
Not just the tattoos and the physique and all. Just he's got a very, very natural presence. Even when he used to play a vampire kind of gimmick, it was just a very, very natural presence. Phenomenal worker. I watched that kid grow into the man he is now, and it's just it fills my heart with joy, actually, believe it or not.
Well, like that's the thing I was going to mention. Like everyone has their like workout sort of inspiration.
Yeah.
Like whether it be an Instagram or that Corvin's mine at the moment. Seeing that lad, and he's going.
I think
every
he's
day.
number one. I think Corbin can go anywhere in the world he wants to. I think the world is his oyster now.
Yeah. That's kind of a reason why I was kind of pushing for them to break up, because I'd love to see Corvin just have a singles run by himself there for a while.
Yeah, I'd love to see that. I think Corbin could really have a singles run all over Europe, to be honest. I don't think Corbin needs to even look at Japan. I think the States would be his next destination, to be honest with you.
So, yeah.
I think he's a shoe-in if he keeps doing what he's doing. I think, and I know the dedication he has.
Yeah.
So that's never a question. The man is dedicated to anything, and also dedicated to his family as well.
Yeah.
He's just a great guy.
Yeah.
It sounds like I'm sponsored by David Cullen, but no, I have to say, listen, all three of those
is that
guys.
him behind you pulling the string?
No, all three of those guys I absolutely love. I have a lot of time for, and I think they're one of the best things to hit Irish wrestling, if not the best. Being honest, in recent years.
Yeah. Going back to the match itself. After Justy. Yeah, like you said, a really, really good 6-man with both teams showing great tag team combinations throughout the match. But it was the Kings who finally got their losing streak finished with by pinning Adam Brooks in the middle of the ring, who of course wasn't happy at the end, lashing out at his teammates, who then decided that this brief relationship that they had is over, and planted them in the middle of the ring to everyone's joy. Just so because everyone loves Aussie Open, and they didn't want to see them be the heels in this, but it was only for a period of time. They went back to being the good guys that they are. Just don't ever try and high five them, because they will break your hand off. No joke. We'll move on though to probably the match, Peter, you were looking forward to most, and probably an argument. Now, we put it on our own Twitter during the week, and this one didn't win, but it was definitely one of them to be talked about as match of the weekend.
Fix that it didn't win.
Oh, someone's not happy.
But it was, of course, current IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion Will Ospreay going up against the King of Bros, Matt Riddle. So, Pierre, tell me about your experience seeing Will Ospreay against Matt Riddle.
Had Ospreay, didn't it? Like that's almost 5 stars right there. Well, there was a bit of an issue at the start of this match. Mix up in communication between me and yourself.
You chose to leave.
I had gone to the bar to get myself some drinks and said to Daragh, if Ospreay's match is on next, text me.
Yeah.
But there was a mix-up with the second half of that sentence.
The drink was very important in your night that night.
It was extremely important.
Yeah. Okay, just wanted to make sure of that.
One of my 6 a day. So I was out there and I was getting my drink, and then I just heard the ole, 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 Ospreay, and I was like, I'm gonna kill him. So I checked my phone, and I was like, I'm gonna kill him. So I ran back anyway, and just honestly,
I actually thought you were going to say, if I hear Ospreay's music, I'm gonna come running back. But or if I hear Ospreay's match starting, I'm gonna run back. I didn't hear you say, will you text me if Ospreay's match starts and I'll run back.
Yeah. So it's mixed up with communication, but I didn't miss the best parts, thankfully.
Yeah.
It was what you'd expect from an Ospreay match. A lot of high flying spots, a lot of great technical wrestling. But Riddle surprised me. It was my first time seeing him as well, just like a lot of the guys. And his aggression, like his technique in the ring as well. I was worried. I was like, for Ospreay, it was like one of them moments where I was like, he might not win this one.
Yeah. Matt Riddle is probably the guy who has had the best transition from MMA to pro wrestling. I know you're giving me that face right now. Don't do that. Don't do that.
He said guy.
He said guy. Yeah.
I plead the 5th.
Oh god, you look good on that fence there. Go sit on that fence.
It's comfortable.
But okay, one of the best. How about that? We'll keep everyone happy.
That's fine.
One of the best. One of the best. Not the best, but one of the
It's just
best.
a look, man. I'm not judging you.
But yeah, I've seen a couple of his matches. It's the first time I've ever seen it live as well. But yeah, the intensity that he brings to the ring is unbelievable. He does obviously bring his MMA background into it, as you'd expect, and it was fantastic. Ospreay now is changing up his wrestling style a little bit as well, because it's not all just high flying and stuff. Because obviously that tag has been given to him before, where it's just he's one of those high flying guys.
Spot monkey.
Spot monkey. Thank you.
My opinion.
Yeah, he's changed up his style so much. I think Okada has taken him under his wing and is teaching him a lot, because you definitely see like similarities in Okada's wrestling to Ospreay's in this. Something as simple as Ospreay in a couple of other shows, he tried it in this one, it wasn't successful. But in a couple of other shows, he's actually been doing the Rainmaker clothesline himself. One of the times during the match, he actually was lying down, holding on to Riddle's hand to actually try, similar to Okada. So there's definitely some similarities there. Of course, Ospreay won in the end, but to be fair, everybody was a winner when they watched this match. It was an unbelievable one, and of course we'd see him again the next night on Contenders. We'll move on to surprisingly, now I'm not saying this in a bad way at all, but it was the only female match of the weekend. But it was an absolutely fantastic match. Valkyrie against Sami Zayn for the OTT Women's Championship. Valkyrie, of course, another product from Fight Factory Pro Wrestling. And it was her stadium debut as well. It was her first chance at the OTT Women's Championship, and she definitely left a mark there. It was a fantastic match with her and Sami Zayn, who... It was interesting because at the moment she has a similar gimmick to Austin Aries in the Indies at the moment. She's like the belt collector, she holds a lot of promotions, and it just so happened to be sitting beside Rick Nash, of course, from Low Blows. And he mentioned to me during the match that actually earlier on this week that Sami had dropped 3 belts already. So to put that not even doubt, hope in your mind that maybe we could see Valkyrie actually take the belt. Unfortunately, now it was Jane that came out on top, but it's definitely it wasn't her time this time for Valkyrie, but she will definitely, in I'd say the near future, be holding.
I'd say very,
be holding
very near.
the women's championship in OTT, and it's just another female to add on to this that will help build the female division in OTT and Irish wrestling as well, because for a long time it was just Katie and Session Bot Martina for a long time, and as good as those matches were, it's great now to see Valkyrie. It's great also to see Debbie Keitel as well. You also have Raven Creed down at CCW, who's coming up to Dublin a lot more as well. You have Lauren LaRue up at PWU as well, who's their current champion too. So we're getting a lot more that are starting to come through as well, which is going to make the division a lot more entertaining, and it will get
healthier
for sure. Healthier for sure. That's exactly the word I was looking for. I said entertaining, but that's a product of it being healthier.
Yeah, no, you're right. Well. That's not the wrong word.
But I think it's right for Sami Zayn just to hold on to it for a bit. Of course, the Session Bot Martina and Katie Harvey are still to come back too. So
let me ask you a question actually. This is just somebody that wouldn't necessarily be at all OTT shows. Yeah. Since the departure of the Session Bot, has there been any sort of decline in any sort of way, and I don't mean in the company in general. I mean it's an honest question.
It's a tough one to answer because
I've been asked this on my show actually. Yeah. With the Session Bot, because I mean not just in terms of girls and guys, she was the draw.
Yeah, she is. Yeah,
in a lot of ways. So
still is as well, I'd say. But it's kind of hard because I don't know whether this is by design or whether this is just coincidence. But the time that she's been gone, there hasn't been a lot of shows.
That's what I was half thinking. I was like, because she is the draw. Because I know after a couple of the shows, there was crowds were a little bit unhealthier than they would have been.
I don't even like. Has there actually been a show? There's been Contenders. Was there? I think there was an OTT show. I'm almost certain there was.
This is what you read on the internet, so
yeah,
I mean,
course,
I can't verify that.
I can't say like I'm sort of the same as you. I would rely a lot of the on demand for OTT shows.
Yeah, exactly.
The bigger shows like this and the Contender shows now for sure after this weekend are ones that I'm going to be going to more often. Yeah. But yeah, it's I don't know whether that was by design or whether that was by luck, but there hasn't been a lot of shows on since she was gone. We had the Fight Factory show, which featured Debbie Keitel against Lady Valkyrie. Yeah. Fantastic match.
Yeah, and they've done really well.
They have done really, really well. And of course, Valkyrie's taken part in their grapples games in I think it's July or August, where she'll be taking part in a 6-person match for the Junior Heavyweight Championship. But there's a show, next show, actually, it's very interesting because in the space of one weekend, there is on the Friday it's Fight Factory are having their next show, Irish Underground style, #Irish Underground style, on the 1st of June. The 2nd of June, once again I don't know whether it's coincidence or design, but both CCW and OTT have a show on the same night. OTT is the Haven for Monsters show, which is going to feature Walter, and Low Key is actually going to be there, which is probably going to be, I would guess, Martina's return, solely because if they're getting Low Key on that show, after hearing her on the OTT podcast talking about Low Key, it would make sense that would be her return show. Having CCW there as well is going to be interesting too, because they're having their Revolution 4 show. They're crowning a new CCW champion as well, so it's very interesting. Yeah, a
lot of competition and all.
Lot of competition, and like you said, competition's healthy.
Hell yeah,
it's very healthy.
Yeah, man.
And fans win at the end of the day too.
Exactly.
But in terms of has there been a decline? I was kind of hoping that it would be a chance for others to step up, but no one's been given their chance.
Right. Yeah, no, that's... I see what you're saying there.
Because there's been nothing there to for them to be given their chance. Not that they haven't taken it, because there's nothing there to take. Apart from the Fight Factory show, where I think that Debbie and...
I think everyone takes their chance on the Fight Factory show, though.
Yeah.
You know, that's the difference with the likes of an OTT show and, say, like, as you mentioned, CCW, PWU, Fight Factory. It's, you know, you are getting a lot of imports in. Therefore, the kind of space for places, so to speak, is a little bit more limited.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Yeah.
Whereas with a Fight Factory show, you get to see the real raw talent of what is being brought up. Let's make no mistake about it. This talent is brought into OTT to showcase their stuff on the likes of Contenders and stuff. But the credit needs to go also to the promotions that are actually training this talent.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people don't get that all the time. Not that OTT are claiming it. I'm just saying.
Of course, no,
it's
no, I know what you mean,
it's these guys and gals are fighting out of their respective promotions, and
they representing Fight Factory.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. So
I think it's interesting though, because obviously OTT. We all know Joe's in charge of OTT. Joe was one of the head trainers at Main Stage Wrestling.
Main Stage, exactly. Yep.
It's interesting that they don't have that name, so they're trying to be their own sort of, you know. We're here. These are the promotions. Let them have their shows.
Yeah.
Obviously, Main Stage used to have their shows. They actually had a few in Coolock there over the last year as well.
I know, yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, seen the banners. People putting banners in my hands all the time. It's okay, I know.
There was a casualty, wasn't there? The poor light.
The poor light bulb.
Yeah,
the
poor
shows,
light bulb.
yeah,
In Coolock?
from CT Flexer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think OTT are trying to establish themselves as one of those places where we're not actually like a training school. We're not trying to showcase our talent. We're just going to be for all of Ireland at the moment. So I think that's what they're doing, because CCW have their own thing as well. They have their own training facility. PWU have their own training facility as well. So I think that's why OTT are different from the likes of Fight Factory.
But I've listened to a few of the OTT podcasts. I listened to Joe, I listened to Session Mott and Jordan. Jordan is a good friend of mine, as you know. Hell, I like Joe. Joe's a good guy too. Yeah. I just thought I should mention the other guys as well. I just thought that's something.
But that's the WWE in Joe.
Yeah,
don't mention other promotions.
Well, I don't care, because it's these companies that are providing the talent. It's not OTT that are creating this talent.
I understand.
So I can say this. If this is controversial, hell, this is only my opinion.
It's not me saying this. It's fine.
Exactly, it's only me. But I just think that these companies should be mentioned. It's just something.
Yeah.
It's not a knock in any way, shape, or form, because think about it. What I'm saying here is I'm all for the greater good of Irish wrestling. I love everything about wrestling, and especially in my own country. So all I'm saying is, hell, just give everybody mention, because it's gonna benefit you in the end, because these are the guys that are creating your talent. I know for a fact I'm very, very close with most of the guys in Fight Factory. They have guys coming down, guys and girls, left, right and centre, that are just absolutely coming out of the woodwork here. It's amazing talent. Jay Money, like, I mean,
exactly.
This guy came on a you know, as a charity gig, and look at him. Yeah. So it's 100%. It's not a knock. I'm just saying, I understand what you mean with the whole WWE thing. It's like the territory stuff. Yeah. But Joe knows himself as well. I mean, he trains talent. He's as what's the word? As important for training guys as he is for promoting guys. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like Scotty Davis was down in MSW too. Yeah. So I'm also bigging up Joe too. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So I'm definitely not taking a knock at anybody here.
Oh no, of course.
I'm just saying it in the sense that mention these companies. Yeah. Help them out too, because their local shows are also good, because they're not coinciding with yours. These need promotion too. Yeah. And the more people that go to all these shows, the more they're going to be familiar with the characters that eventually end up on the OTT shows. Yeah. Because believe it or not, wrestling fans are loyal as hell. Yep. Yeah. They will go and see any show. In fact, you know, most Irish guys used to have to go, most Dublin guys used to have to go to Bray to watch shows. Yeah. they'll travel past Bray if they have to
Yeah.
to watch their favorite guys and gals. So what I'm saying is, it's just always remember where these people come from, and everybody be in it together, all in. You know what I mean? I think I've done a fairly decent job at trying to convey my point.
It did, and like when you look at it that way, it could open up a lot of good creative things for OTT as well.
Absolutely.
Like their own kind of Survivor Series thing, Team Fight Factory versus Team CCW.
They have that at the moment.
Imagine a little
they do have that
invasion
in the
angle.
they have that in the contender shows at the moment, because there's the 3 factions that are kind of having like interfaction sort of shows. So you have a team, the Mongrels, who are all from like Uprising Wrestling up in the north. You have obviously More Than Hype, the lads from Fight Factory.
Yeah.
Then you have Legit 100, which is actually a mixture of main stage with Scotty Davis. You have of Uprising and PWU for Curtis Murray, and then of course you have Fight Factory with Michael May there as well. So you have that collage there for the Legit 100. So it's kind of like it's an unspoken, I think, probably rivalry faction.
I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Is like it
it's
should be spoken.
Spoken,
Like, like as important as Joker Bray has been over the last say decade. Phil Boyd is probably equal, if not more, important over the last decade in terms of the people he's been training.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a school in Bray that was near death's door.
Yeah.
But he never gave up, him and Katie. And they kept going, and now they're in town where anyone can find them. I'm not. You swear I'm sponsored by Fight Factory now. This is not the case. I'm just saying, people like that, everybody needs to be mentioned, because wrestling, what we see now and what you go and see and what you guys are talking about, and the people and the guys and girls that you're talking about, it's a lot of people involved that I just feel need to be mentioned, and I hope you don't mind that I just had to mention that there. So,
no, it's fine. It's fine. But we'll have to move on.
We will move on.
We'll have to move on.
Sorry, guys. I love you, Joe. I love you, Phil. I love everybody. So here we go.
Would you believe they started talking about a Valkyrie Sami Zayn match? Like that's all. This is all.
That's how
it's stemmed
powerful
from.
women's wrestling has become. I honestly believe that. Yeah, I really do.
We'll move on to one of the first, I say, draws for this event for sure. It's Tomohiro Ishii against Jeff Cobb. New Japan's Tomohiro Ishii, of course. One of the guys I was looking forward to see most of this. Two massive men when you see them.
You did actually mention that to me in the house the other night as well. Like that you were really looking forward to this.
Both as wide as a truck and as strong as the Hulk.
Yeah,
series after series of both headbutts and forearms, and it's just proper like strong style Japanese wrestling, which was brilliant about it.
Hard hitting. It was that match, and like you said, they're huge. They're absolute effing units.
Yeah,
like short enough guys, but just
stocky,
built.
Exactly.
I gotcha.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, you said it. Both as wide as a truck and strong as a Hulk. I mean, that's all you need to know in the description.
It was Ishii, of course, who came out on top after a superplex from the top to Cobb. I'll be honest now, I know it's his stick that this is what he does at the end of shows, but I thought maybe because it was his first time in Ireland, because he was an indie promotion, because we gave him the ovation that he deserved, but going straight to the back after the match, I just thought was a little disappointing from Ishii.
Okay.
I would have liked all he had to do was even wave to either side.
Was he playing a heel or?
He was just playing Ishii. That's all he was doing. He was playing it. He was in character. He was in like.
So maybe that was just more. I think, he was feeling it. Like,
maybe that's also another sign of the ultimate respect that he had for Ireland as well. That he would stay in character for this.
Yeah.
Than he would. He treats it no different than he would if he was in a New Japan
versus
show.
the Young Bucks. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So, there you go.
It's like I didn't even, until you mentioned that to me the other day, and this is just showing the eye you have because you're more experienced with the shows. I didn't notice that at all. I watched the match. I was still in awe at the match, and didn't even notice that he didn't acknowledge anyone.
Yeah. Like I
And
said,
you know, I'm with her on that there. Like, I haven't not seen the match. I'm just saying that maybe that was it. It was just respect for the crowd.
exactly the ultimate respect that you are on the par with what I usually wrestle against. We had our interlude afterwards, and then after it was the Rapture against the Angel Cruisers for the OTT World Tag Team Championship. Will we talk about the incident and just get it over with straight away?
Just get it out of the way now.
For Ian, obviously, because you
Weren't there.
you weren't there for it, and it's not up on the on-demand. The on-demand isn't up just yet, so we don't know if that will actually be in the actual
Hit me with
on-demand
it.
stuff. But Charlie Sterling's entrance consists of him throwing water at the crowd. You know, heel thing to do. You know, he always does it. He's never not done it. You know. And
Simple kind of,
and Gibson's heel thing is that he cuts a promo before his matches, and he just talks about how he is Liverpool's number one, wrestling's number one, the world's number one, and then puts down whatever place he's in. Obviously, Ireland, saying like we like us British wrestlers bought wrestling here, we make it relevant, blah blah blah. Two lads didn't take this well.
And they ruined it for the rest of their group. Where unfortunately drinks were thrown at Gibson. I think it was Sterling beforehand threw water in the direction. I don't think it hit the lads, but it was in that general direction, because Gibson would normally give
fans.
Gibson would normally give and Charlie Sterling would normally do these parts of their entrance in the ring, kind of maybe as a protection thing. I don't know, so this wouldn't happen, but they decided that they were going to go through the crowd for this. They started on the right side, they came over to the left side, they started doing it.
Yeah.
You know, and for any like wrestling fan that knows anything about wrestling would know that this is just him playing him. You know, there's nothing.
Those in the first few rows will be splashed.
Yeah, that's you know, they know that this could happen. You know, but unfortunately, two lads. It was probably because maybe they've had too much drink on them anyway. Threw drinks at Zach Gibson.
Is that all they did? They threw
drinks
plastic drinks
on Zach Gibson. I think they might have got, but might have got Sterling. But I myself only saw the drinks being thrown on Zach Gibson. First of all, don't condone that at all. Don't condone that doing it to wrestlers at all. If not at Zach Gibson, he didn't throw a drink at anyone. He was just doing his promo. That's all.
Okay, well, you finish the story first.
Secondly, kudos to Zach Gibson for showing restraint and not punching them in the face, where most people would if you got a drink thrown in your face.
Not heels.
His face though, when he got it was the look of shock on his face when he got the trick actually thrown on him.
So like at least with your hands shut, did they just go like that?
Oh yeah, like they threw like overhand. Sorry,
like that.
Oh, so they actually threw
they threw it at him,
at his head. Like.
They threw it towards him. I don't know if it hit his head.
Plastic cup,
but it was a plastic cup though. Obviously the lads came down straight away. After Joe looked over, I looked straight because obviously he was up in like gorilla position, and you can see it. You can see it. Well, it's not actually gorilla because that's gorilla is like just behind the ramp, right thing. But you know what I'm talking.
No, I know. Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
He looked over straight away because it was underneath where he was. I've never seen him run down so quickly before. He went.
You don't want that man running at you.
No, not at all.
There's about 4 or 5 of them got kicked out because of the actions of 2 of them.
Yeah.
Well, no, in fairness, you see, now it's starting to make sense what you're saying to me. Like, I was kind of thinking, look, it's a heel thing. I mean, back in the 70s and 80s,
yeah,
to throw knives at you. You know what I mean? Well, like, a drink is nothing. I mean, for me personally, I'd have been like, licked it out of my hair and just.
He has no hair to lick it out of him anyway. So.
Yeah, well, I don't either anymore. I'm just saying, back in the day.
Dribble down his forehead.
I understand if you're throwing something aggressively at someone, like just for the sake of it, you know, to be cool in front of people. Then, but I mean, how did the guys react? They were okay.
Yeah, they were fine. He continued on
they
his
stayed
promo
in character.
Like
and
see, real heels need to know that that's the case. You don't need to be babysitted as a heel. You're taking that risk in your own. This is where I'm coming from. I think, to me, that sounds absolutely fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think it's much about nothing. Yeah. It's a couple of drinks getting thrown at you. if you can incite that much hate
You're doing
from
your
someone
job.
to throw it, then you're doing it. I would just go lick it and smile and say, next is your girlfriend, and then walk on back to the ring.
Yeah.
You know, it sounds to me like the boys done their job.
as a heel, you know.
No, but forget about my experience as a heel. It sounds to me like Mr. Sterling and Mr. Gibson done their job very well, and I commend them on that. And Joe probably thought that it could have got heated. I would say that was the only reason that Joe and his crew came down.
Oh, take
Purely.
no chances. I fully
And
agree
that's
with their
all I'd
decision.
say. I'd
Fully
say
agree
it was
with
just
that,
in case that
Yeah.
anything got started, but Sterling being Sterling competitor and heel that he is, and Gibson also of the same ilk, I would imagine that it was just a case of the two boys. It was more damage prevention on Joe's part than anything else. I don't see a problem with. I wouldn't call it a drinks incident personally, in the sense of being a bad thing. I think it's just you want fans to do that. Do it, because if you're gonna create an ECW type environment, hell, you know this is what you expect. It's plastic cups. It's not gonna hurt anyone. It's a free beer for someone.
True.
On their face. and knowing the two guys that are involved, they would have, I'm sure, just laughed it off.
It's probably not the first time, and probably not going to be the last time it happens. Either.
Especially Sterling.
Yeah. We'll get to the match itself, though.
Sorry.
A really, really, really good match. Obviously, the Angel Cruisers were fantastic as always. With Angel doing his Shane McMahon impersonation, going coast to coast.
Nice.
Going coast to coast with team, as Dave likes to call it. I'll continue on his tradition. P. Rick.
I love it.
Holding Zach Gibson in place. Unfortunately, there was a nasty bump taken throughout at one point during this. The lads were. Be Cool was in the process of getting powerbombed out to the outside by
I heard he took a nasty bump, was it?
by Gibson and Sterling.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, as he was getting powerbombed over, his foot seemed to get caught in the ropes.
Oh no.
So the lads weren't there to catch him.
He went that
so
way?
he went straight down.
Yeah, like
on his head.
It became, instead of like kind of pancaking,
exactly,
it was like a
straight down.
No, like a head dive. Yeah.
Very fortunate. Obviously the crew came over to him straight away and were waiting for the rest of the match. Very, very nasty looking injury.
Scary.
Very worried.
Yeah.
A lot of people were. Thankfully, after the match was over, he was able to walk away from it and he was able to compete the next day, which they used perfectly for their match the next day at Contenders, which we'll get to in a little bit. But in the match itself, finished after at one point, Zach Gibson took out a samurai sword. Because why not?
Okay.
Because are you aware of Angel's tendencies to try and murder people at the moment?
Oh yes, I've heard about this.
Yeah.
He likes to try and Dexter almost.
Yes, with axes or knives or Christmas trees that we saw at the Being the Elite show.
He just wants to kill people.
Yeah, he was looking to get his that samurai sword out from under the ring at one point, but Gibson pushed him away and Gibson took the knife out himself. But before he could do anything with the sword, Angel comes from the other side of the ring with an AK-47.
Happy days.
Into the ring. The most bizarre thing you saw all night.
You should have had that
Zach
with
Gibson.
the drink incident.
Zach Gibson with a shocked, horrified look on his face, holding a samurai sword, having a AK-47 pointed at him by Angel Cruz.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. The match finished when Gibson had Angel in his finishing maneuver, the Shankly Gates. It's like a modified armbar.
Okay.
Angel refused to tap out before Charlie Sterling decided to grab one of the members of P. Rick, bring him into the ring and threatened to cut off his arm if Angel didn't tap out, to which he did. The Rapture remain OTT World Tag Team Champions. And like we said, thankfully after the match, Biko was able to walk away from his nasty fall. Also should commend, and Peter will agree with me with this, the video package before this match
I actually wanted to mention it.
Fantastic.
I was afraid we were going to skip over that.
Go ahead, go for it, man.
It was like something straight out of a comic book.
It was brilliant.
It was. I don't even know where to start with it. There's so much going on.
The superheroes of the Angel Cruisers taking on the evil. What was his name? Was it Mocabraid? His name was in the end.
This is going to annoy me now that I can't remember.
Yeah. It was Joe being the villain, anyway, and I think it was Mocabraid or something like that they called him. And they had their was it the Angel or the Cruise Mobile or something like that they called it. It's Yarmouth with both their faces on the front of it.
Angel Cruiser, wasn't it?
The Angel Cruiser.
Angel Cruiser.
The Angel Cruiser.
Yeah. It was that video package was so good. It was
brilliant.
The effects in it.
Yeah.
You know, Infinity War level CGI.
Cabray was not Thanos in this anyway, I'll tell you that.
It's because they didn't let him click his fingers.
See, they went for the head.
Yeah.
Spoiler. We'll move on to the other member of New Japan that went on to it, that took part in the show. Minoru Suzuki against Keith Lee. This was one of the most incredible matches I've seen as well. I never felt more scared for a ring crew in my life when Suzuki is around, because if you're not too familiar with Japanese wrestling,
not too. I think the first time I seen Suzuki was when I went to that thing with
Wrestle
you.
Kingdom?
Yeah, Wrestle
Kingdom. Yeah. Suzuki doesn't like ring crews and ends up. He has I think Dave worked it out. He has an average of beating up 2.7 ring crew members per match.
What happened to the 0.7? Is like just really short, or
I don't know. It's Dave's maths.
Yeah, I'll discuss this with Mr. Dave when he gets back. Mr. Bandana.
But a really, really good match between two lads. Of course, Keith Lee in what was one of his last matches in OTT before his expected move to NXT. He gave a really, really good speech the next day at Contenders, which we'll get to in a bit too. Towards the end of this match, Suzuki had been trying to get Keith Lee in position for the Gotch pile driver. At one point, Keith Lee went for a moonsault on Suzuki before he moved.
He still completed the full transition.
Suzuki then tried the Gotch pile driver one more time before Keith Lee pushed him away. Another counter, and Suzuki then finally hit the Gotch pile driver on Keith Lee to win the match. And him, like we said, that his thing is not to talk to the crowd too much or interact with the crowd after his matches. Suzuki was the opposite. He was applauding the crowd.
Yeah.
He was
very gracious.
He was very gracious as well. It's something that he's adopted in his style in the last about year or so. Afterwards, he threatened to destroy poor Foxy. Poor Foxy. I've never seen someone go so white so quickly when Suzuki had his hands on Foxy. But we'll move on to the main event for the OTT World title, I should say. Jordan Devlin against Zack Sabre Jr. These lads have known each other since they were 14. These have been great friends since they were 14. And we were told about that throughout the hype for this.
Yeah, some great video packages, kind of little small.
Saw them when they were 12.
What?
And I knew them since they were 12. Well, Jordan, definitely.
Yeah. And this match showed that these guys have known each other so long.
Yeah.
So crisp. Everything, like Zack Sabre Jr., of course, is probably the best technical wrestler in the world at the moment. Yeah. That guy can put you in a submission from any angle at all. And will tap you out. Devlin, of course, one of probably the most improved wrestlers, I think, in Europe in the last year. Not so much because he's needed to improve, but people around Europe are finally seeing how good he is, because he's getting more opportunities to work over in England now as well. I think since he took part in the WWE UK Championship last year, has really opened a lot of doors for him, and he's been able to improve on other techniques and evolve his wrestling so much as well.
The more seen wrestler, the more kind of you know, I mean, his ability has always been there.
Yeah.
You know.
But now he's getting the chance to actually show it on not just an Irish level, but like an international level as well.
Exactly.
Of course, because he spent time over in America, which he was meant to wrestle in, but unfortunately with a broken tummy, he wasn't able to.
Yeah, of course.
And that is something that Zack Sabre Jr. Targeted throughout this match as well, because he knows he was injured there, and unfortunately it wasn't successful for Sabre Jr. because Devlin countering one of Sabre's, I can't remember his submission. See, this is so hard when you go to a weekend full of wrestling. There's so many matches and you can't remember exactly what happened, but anyway, one of Sabre's offensives was countered before hitting a package pile driver for the win. 1, 2, 3, perfect end to the night for a near perfect show as well.
Well, I promised Jordan that I'm gonna watch that.
You should watch the whole event.
No, I will. Again, 100%. Jordan is Jordan's Jordan. He's one of the best guys I've ever known. And to see his success now and Zach's, is just incredible. Like, that was what you watched was an NWA UK Hammerlock match. And I know if they're listening to this show, I know Jordan will know exactly what I'm talking about, and he'll also be very, very proud and happy that I did mention that it was, because these are two products of Andre Baker, rest in peace. It was only his anniversary recently enough as well, which Paul Tracy put out. I just thought I'd mention that, especially the fact that the match has gotten so much talk about it and so much hype. It would only be right for me to say that in the position that I'm in now. And that was an NWA UK Hammerlock match that you watched, I've no doubt. With a modern twist, and that's where they learned in the doldrums of Kent and Bray. Both the Garden of England and the Garden of Ireland. And
there you go.
That's where, you know. So I cannot wait to watch this show. The way it sounded like a hell of a show to me. And as I say, the boys seem to boys and girls keep doing a good job. And I can't wait to see it. Perfect
analogy there to end it. And we'll move on very quickly to Sunday's action with OTT Contenders 9, The Hangover Show. So for anyone that didn't get their fill of wrestling on Saturday, there was a contender show on the Sunday as well, with 7 matches featuring not just some of the talent from Saturday night, but also a lot of Ireland's best up-and-coming wrestlers too. And one of the guys that I've been so looking forward to see coming up to Dublin, because I've seen them in Cork a couple of times, was the Armstrongs, who made their OTT debut, scheduled to be going up against the Angel Cruisers. Now, obviously, like we talked about during the Scappermania review, that this match was in a little bit of doubt because of the injury suffered by Be Cool. And I've got to just tip my hat to everybody involved in this match. This was a fantastic match that used what happened yesterday and took advantage of what went on, and so that they could not just protect Be Cool in case there was anything, there was still maybe any lingering, maybe if there was a concussion or something like that, but also told a great story in this match. So the Armstrongs come out. We still don't know what's going on with the B Cruisers. Sorry, first of all, I should mention, actually, before this happened, the Armstrongs music played, and then comes out Dom Tuck. For if you guys aren't too aware of Dom, product of Fight Factory as well, actually. Okay. He has been taking part at the last couple of OTT shows. Been interrupting, I should say, having the Dom Tuck Open Challenge, taking on anyone that will come forward and want to take him on. He's lost every match.
I love it. Old school. Barry Horowitz.
Exactly. So he's he's fought he's lost to Valkyrie. He's lost to Paul Tracy. He's lost to Gunther Isaac, product out of Main Stage Wrestling. And this time, he issued his open challenge, and it was answered by none other than Luther Ward. Luther Ward came back to an OTT ring for the first time in a couple of years. But there was something a little strange about it.
Alright.
Luther comes out, hat, coat as usual, ring gear ready, takes off his coat to find Slither as well, finds out the coat, opens his coat, and you find out he's wearing a referee's jacket. Why is he wearing a referee?
Special guest referee.
Well, if he's a special guest referee, then who's taking part in the match? Look back in the ring. Who's ready to take out Dom Tuck? None other than Foxy. Foxy is taking the open challenge. One quick brain buster to Dom Tuck. 1, 2, 3. Foxy has a 1-0 record in OTT. Fantastic open to the match. Really, really good. Got the crowd up and ready. But we'll get into the match. The proposed opening match. The Armstrongs against the Angel Cruisers. Armstrongs come out like you've seen the Armstrongs in Cork before.
CCW.
Fantastic. Their promos as well as their wrestling is fantastic.
I've been following their progress.
Their promo series, Total Armstrongs, is fantastic. But then the Angel Cruisers music comes out, and there's Angel comes out, and we're thinking, so is Be Cool with him? Where is Cool? Angel goes back in. Be Cool comes out with his head pretty much all strapped together. All you could see was his beard and his sunglasses. That was it. So he comes into the ring, gets lost coming into the ring, doesn't know where the ring is, goes towards the bar, doesn't know where he's going, playing out the head injury. Perfect. Love it. Comes into the ring, Angel grabs the mic, and he goes, so right, me and Be Cool have been talking. Listen, we want to take part in this match, but can we make a rule right here, right now? No headshots. The guys accept, because you can obviously see Cool has an injury, head injury, can't do this. So then the match is about to start. Angel goes into his corner, and then just as he's giving the mic back, Cool takes it off him and says, right guys, sorry, me and Sammy D here have been talking and we've been saying that we should do no headshots today because I have a bit of a sore head. These brilliant ways of playing off head injuries.
Yeah, genius. I love it.
Genius. Going into the wrong corner eventually and stuff. And then the Armstrongs trying to go, it's like doing a bit of offense on Be Cool, and then he's about to go for a knee to the head, and everybody involved in the match just goes, no, said no headshots. Like, having everyone play at this was fantastic, brilliant. Eventually it was Be Cool to get the brain buster for the 1, 2, 3, but both teams were fantastic in this match, and I can't wait to see more of the Armstrongs in OTT moving forward. Now, we'll move on then to the next match. I think I've got my match order all wrong on this, so I apologise.
It's the pre-main event almost.
For anybody, listen, I'm really sorry that I've gotten the order, but we're going to it. The Kings of the North, fresh off their win from the previous night, going up against the debuting Rough Stuff tag team, CT Flexer and Paul Scarf. Of course, fantastic team, but making their name also down in TCW at the moment, but have been taking part in like main stage wrestling
good
shows
friends
as well. Good friends as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Really good match as well. Obviously, Kings of the North continue to show why they're the benchmark of Irish wrestling at the moment. Fantastic tag team, but this match this match also showed that tag team wrestling is in a healthy place in Ireland at the moment.
Yeah.
Very healthy place. Like, we were a little worried, I think, about this time last year, because there wasn't seemed to be many Irish tag teams coming through. But a year of progression we've gotten now. Of course, we have Kings of the North, you have the Angel Cruisers, you have
Rough Stuff
now. You have the Armstrongs now as well. So I think we're going to see a lot of really, really exciting tag team wrestling now in the coming
and Rough
year.
Stuff, by the way, have been going for a long time.
Yeah,
like, I mean,
CT was actually a member of, was it the Body Bros, wasn't it, in OTT?
Well, they
for a while?
were, but
Yeah.
exactly. But they've been going like since the Bray days of NWA, or sorry, Fight Factory.
Yeah.
And doing their thing. They've been. I mean, they're two of the most impressive bodies within wrestling. Definitely, those guys take their training very, very seriously, as you can tell.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
I think it's a perfect fit to pair them up with Kings of the North.
For sure. Kings of the North ending up with the victory there with this, but giving their respects to Rough Stuff afterwards for giving them a very, very close match. So we can't wait to see more of Rough Stuff as well in the next coming months and years in OTT. Then we'll move on to the next match. This was a very tag team heavy show. There wasn't a lot of singles matches. I think there was only 2 in general in total, and this was one of them. It was Michael May against Charlie Sterling in a British rules match.
Oh, right.
So the British rules match was no closed fists. What else was there? No no poking in the eyes.
Over the top rope.
No over the top rope. No jumping, no dives, no nothing like that.
Pancrase.
Yes, exactly. And perfect for Michael May, who's one of the obviously best technical wrestlers that Ireland has right now. And you can see with his training with the likes of Johnny Moss and
Marty Jones.
And Marty Jones as well, of course. So really, really good match. Like I say every time that I see Charlie Sterling over in OTT or in any sort of show, he is one of the best sellers in wrestling at the moment. He will sell a move so well to make it look, well, let's just say it look legit.
We mentioned earlier. About the likes of Enzo and LJ having the ability to have charisma. The ability to sell is another thing that it doesn't come easy. That's something you're born with as well. It's just a natural way that that the body moves after a certain hit or move taken. Yeah. So I fully agree. Sorry.
No, it's fine. Yes. So at one point, some great submissions and great, how can I counter submissions as well by both guys throughout the match. Michael May in the end coming out with a victory after Charlie Sterling decided that he didn't want to go with the rules anymore and low-blowed Michael May for the victory. To which then he tried to hit him with his OTT tag title belt. Michael May countered it and of course stood tall at the end. We'll move on to 2 more lads from Fight Factory. 2 lads from Morton Hype as well.
It's the place to be, I told you.
It is the place to be. It really is at the moment. Darren Carney and Nathan Martin against Curtis Murray and Will Ospreay. Really, really great match. This was, apart from the main event, more for the emotional investment that's in the main event. This was was probably up there with the best match. Ospreay was fantastic in this, that he didn't obviously being the only guy in it that's the most experienced in the match. He's the most experienced in the match. But he did a lot, but he also did enough, or he didn't do so much that he could just let the others shine. The likes of Nathan and Darren and Curtis as well just showed how far these guys are coming. It just showed how good they're actually going to be in the future as well. All once again disgustingly young, and Psycho Nathan Martin is fantastic. He's a fantastic character, and I'd love to see more. Darren Carney, like we said with Michael May, is one of the best technical wrestlers that Fight Factory have. Darren Carney's not far behind.
Huge fan of Darren.
Yeah. It's the time that he spent training in Lance Storm's
exactly it.
academy has enhanced the talents he's
He even
already
has
got.
the same chest now. He has the big broad chest. It's
Yeah.
like they teach you over in Calgary.
Exactly.
What to do.
They do. They teach you. Exactly. Really, really fantastic match. Both guys, or all four guys, fantastic. In the end, it was Curtis Murray and Will Ospreay that picked up the win. Also, extra respect to Will Ospreay for this, because just before the match started, he came out with his IWGP Junior Heavyweight title. Just before the match started, he found one of the kids in the front row, gave his title to the kid and said, "Will you hold on to that until my match is finished?" Really class act. He could have just gave it to, like, you know, one of the ring crew for them to hold on to, but no, he chose one of the kids because he wanted them to have a moment they'll remember forever, which was fantastic.
Nice touch.
A very, very nice touch. Then move on to it's a tie for the funniest match of the night. It was Club Tropicana and Jose, their ring announcer, in a 6-man tag against the Mongrels of Russell Dempster, Eddie Stone, and Dave. They're going to kill me for forgetting this name. The Mongrels, anyway. Sorry. I'm really sorry.
Wow.
I'm really sorry. I'm going to get some.
You lost me at comedy.
Well, it wasn't just but like the story behind this, because Club Tropicana had been on a losing streak in Contenders.
Yeah.
Since Contenders to start. This was obviously the 9th show. And they've been told that the next match that they lose, they're getting fired. So they had to win this match. Jose, who was their ring announcer, is not a wrestler. But him coming out in like full like gangster gear, wanting to actually get into a fight in this, like, fantastic. In the end, the Club Tropicana did win. Great, which obviously continues the storyline of them. They can't lose again. Might lead to them actually going up to the main show and actually going for a tag team title. Chance and they have to win it, or else they're out of the company. Really entertaining match throughout. They had the classic referee bump where the referee got knocked out. You think the Mongrels are going to win it. Double, triple team. There's one guy left in the ring. Probably at one point, because Jose is not a wrestler, he was punched out at one point and he was taken to the back. Comes out, what you think of bloody
I'm
nose.
actually laughing at it now, and you're doing a good job at this.
Yeah,
I like
he comes out. I don't know whether you get disgusted or whether you just have to laugh your head off at this point. But he comes out, has a bloody nose. Obviously, you have a bloody nose, put a tissue up there, and you just go back out there and have another. Keep going. It wasn't the tissue.
Oh, I think I know where this is going.
Yeah, you know where this is going. You don't know where this is going, do you?
I don't. Yeah, go. Nothing shocks me, so go for it.
He comes out with a bloody tampon in his nose.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah,
Apparently they're very absorbent.
that's very observant. He didn't bleed at all anymore after that.
There you go.
And there was a kid in the audience.
It was an all ages show.
Okay.
Yeah. That's why I'm kind of a bit shocked that I went to there.
All right.
Obviously, it was a subtle thing. They didn't say like, "Oh, look what's in my nose."
It's very subtle, yeah.
Yeah,
Tampon. Do you know? Mammy, what's that stick? That looks like a tissue.
It's a tissue. Now move on, right?
It would have wrapped around a pencil.
That's not the worst thing. It actually fell out during the match as well.
Oh, good lord. Good lord.
Oh.
Session might still control things from beyond.
Oh. Yeah, okay.
Well, we move along
I
from
think
that
we'll
match.
move on.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll move on.
Right, Contenders is great.
We'll move on to the return of the big hangover. Sean Maxer Guinness and Jordan Devlin going up against Keith Lee and Shane Strickland.
Hell yeah.
You could tell these four lads were just having fun in the ring with this. It was great. It was great to watch. Easy work for these lads. Easy work. And Keith Lee was so interactive with not just the crowd but with the wrestlers as well. Now, you would have noticed, Peter, that we didn't get to see a lot of Shane Strickland
We didn't. I was actually disappointed with that. We
Yeah,
didn't see much
in
of
the
him
ring.
in the 6-man.
You saw a lot more of him in this one. It was
Will be the one I didn't go to.
really entertaining. You know, you could see the respect all these guys had for each other and stuff like this. And never, ever, ever, right? This is a piece of advice I can hopefully give both of you. Because I know, obviously, I have a wrestling past. Well, hoping to have a wrestling future. Also have a wrestling future, maybe. We don't know yet. Hopefully, if I can convince you. Don't ever get in a ring with Keith Lee and get chopped by him. My God, they even hurt from where I was sitting.
I want to wrestle Keith Lee. So.
yeah. I wasn't planning on that, to be honest.
Oh, his two-handed chops on Maxer. That man's chest was as pink as his tights by the end of it.
We've been shot by Fergal, David.
Well, there you go. Yeah, true. True.
Keith Lee has nothing on Finn, trust me.
Well, how about this? How about, okay, you obviously taken chops from Finn before.
John Moss.
John Moss, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Have you seen John Moss?
I'm just saying, just watch, if you can, when you do watch Scappermania, go over and watch the Keith Lee and watch the whole Contender show.
Man, that's the plan.
But
yeah.
just even, like, hopefully the mic picks up how loud these were.
Oh, yeah.
So
good, solid shots.
Good, solid is an understatement. They would cut through a normal man. Thank God that both Jordan and Maxer are built the way they are, that they can actually withstand it. Not even withstand it. I'm saying they're still in a lot of pain actually now. If they're listening and probably thinking there's their memory pains right there from it. But fantastic match with great to see the Big Hangover back together.
Yeah.
Keith Lee as well, brilliant throughout this. At one point there was a Keith Lee stood on his shoulder. Or no, Keith Lee does his like the last ride powerbomb as his finisher.
Yeah.
So he had I think it was it Sean? It was Sean in the corner ready to give him his last ride powerbomb, but on the turnbuckle was Shane Strickland, who was going to give like a coup de grace style double stomp to help it. Don't know how he kicked out of it. Fantastic. In the end, it was Jordan who tried for so long to lift up Keith Lee. Finally did it. Then got the pin. 1, 2, 3. Fantastic match. Loved by everyone all around. And afterwards, Keith Lee took the mic and pretty much gave a very emotional goodbye to not just Ireland but to Europe in general, because he says he's not going to be here for a while, leading to the speculation that he is going to sign for NXT. And the Indies loss is definitely WWE's gain here, because Keith Lee is a fantastic wrestler, and he's going to do great things in NXT given the opportunity, which I think he will with Triple H in charge, because he knows how to book the indie stars properly there. We won't say anymore.
As he looks at me. I haven't said nothing.
The main event, the end of the NLW Championship tournament to crown a new NLW champion. This has gone on since the last takeover show, an 8-man tournament, which has led to the final of Scotty Davis against Terry Thatcher. Like I just mentioned, the emotions in this match was unbelievable. The match itself was absolutely fantastic. Both guys gave it their all. Terry Thatcher at one point there, we thought he got a little hurt trying to do a dive out onto the outside. Thankfully he was okay. I think just the fall sounded worse than it was, because it's just hardwood. They don't put any like mats on the outside, so it just sounds an awful lot worse. Scotty absolutely fantastic again. His wrestling background, bringing it into obviously pro wrestling like he does, is brilliant. Terry, I did notice about Terry, because you would know Terry, would you?
Yeah. I know his work.
Yeah. 13-year veteran inside the ring. I didn't know that now beforehand.
Yeah. It's a long time.
But the way they've built Terry throughout this tournament has been fantastic, and all the Contender show in general. They've built this guy as one that will never give up and that will also always strive to win a match. He's been in some fantastic and grueling matches against the likes of Jonah Rock, like big guys who he has no right to actually be in the ring with, but has actually been a match for them. In this tournament, he's gone against the odds with injury to get to the final. Fantastic booking of how to just get Terry Thatcher to be the man now to carry that title. And now it's the perfect chance for him to go on to the main shows now as well. That he, as the champion, he can defend them at main shows too. And although Scotty lost the match, his time is going to come. Like we mentioned with Valkyrie and Scappermania, like it's just because it's not happening now doesn't mean it's not gonna ever happen.
Look at his age. He has so long left in the business. That Scotty Davis. So
and he's only going to get better.
Exactly. He's only going to improve.
Yeah.
And once his time does come, it's I see it lasting a long time as well.
Exactly. But that was the weekend of OTT. Unbelievable weekend.
Out of breath now, aren't you?
Out of breath.
It's those drink steals.
After the break, we will be talking about WWE Raw and Smackdown. Probably not as detailed as this, but we will be back momentarily to talk WWE in the UK. And you're very welcome back to the Kickout here with myself, Daragh, Peter and Ian. So we're finished up talking about OTT. Now let's talk about WWE and Monday Night Raw.
Welcome to Monday Night Raw!
So yeah, we will not be talking about Raw in too much detail this week. We're going to be taking the main topic from both Raw and SmackDown, and we'll have a little bit of a discussion on that. I'm going to change it up this week because I'm in charge. So I think the main story coming out of Raw this week was something that actually didn't even happen on Raw. And that's going to be that Ronda Rousey has been named as Nia Jax's challenger for her Raw Women's Championship at Money in the Bank. Now, do you think this is too soon for Ronda?
Yeah, she's had, one match and maybe 20 minutes of action.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, Ronda's she's a great athlete, but it's not her time. Look at the rest of the roster, who is there and who deserves a shot more than she does. And the fact that it wasn't even done on the show.
But can I offer you this? Did WWE put themselves in this situation? Because they always said that Ronda's going to be on a full-time schedule. She's going to be D1. They can't really conceivably put her in the Money in the Bank match, because you can't put her in a ladder match in her second match. You can't have her lose a qualifying match for it because you don't want her to lose. So what other option are they left with?
Don't give her a title match. Give her just start a feud with someone else.
Okay.
Start
Who
feud.
though? Because all feuds are being centered around this ladder match.
It's true. You could have. Want her to? You said sorry. Obviously, you said you don't want her to lose. I was saying if you wanted her to lose, kind of dirty, they could have had someone interrupt her in a qualifying match and have her get counted out.
Could. Ian, what do you think about this?
She's already the best.
Okay.
She had the best debut in the history of any wrestler, male or female.
Yeah.
Fact. Better people than you and I have said that. Including professional wrestlers like Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah.
Chris Jericho. Where else is there for her to go? But to the top.
But is it not too soon though?
No, what is too soon? What is too soon? What are we waiting for?
But is she ready? It's a lot different holding a UFC title than it is having to hold a WWE title.
Of course she's ready.
Do you think she is ready to be the one to lead the women's
She's
division?
the most marketable person in the company after Roman.
Okay.
You know?
More marketable than Brock?
Yeah, hell yeah.
I think so.
Hell yeah. She's the second most marketable person in the UFC history, I do believe. And that's after Brock.
Yeah.
even more so than Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
She's shown that she's got a love for the business. That her ability in the ring told me that.
Yeah.
It told me exactly how much she thought about the business once I saw her movement in the ring. It was just...
Let me throw this argument at you.
All right, go for it.
Because obviously, yes, we all know she was fantastic in the ring at WrestleMania. But she was fantastic in the ring at WrestleMania because she had about 3 months to prepare for that match.
Yeah.
And they could work out, like how Randy Savage used to get ready for his WrestleMania matches, that he would plan out every single move meticulously and then be ready to show her off on the main stage.
Yeah.
You don't get that time if you're champion because you're expected to be wrestling, if not every week, more like every 2 weeks or so, and defending it at every pay-per-view, obviously. Is Ronda ready to do that?
Okay, how come Randy was able to do it every day then? Go onto the network and watch him wrestle on Tuesday in Texas. That was just another house show.
Yeah.
So was Sunday in Texas. So was Monday in Texas.
Well,
so was Monday in...
How many years did he have though?
What do you mean? How many years did he have?
How many years did he have in a training?
Why does it matter? We're talking about...
Because you do need to know. You need to know this stuff.
Yeah, and she does know it.
Yeah. I know, but she knows enough to get through that match.
No, because
she knew enough to get through that match.
She's been brought in, okay? Yeah, she knew enough to go through that match, but she's been brought in now as basically a face of the company, okay? Possibly the face of the company in a lot of ways. And she has been trained, I would say, knowing the way she trains in a UFC environment, I'd say she's put that kind of training into her wrestling career now.
Yeah.
So you're talking about 3 to 4 months. No, you're saying 3 months for that match. So multiply that by 3 months. So maybe 6 months. She's had half a year of training non-stop with top quality opponents.
Yeah.
With possibly one of the best minds of the business around her in Triple H.
Yeah.
She's more than ready.
Okay.
You kidding me? It's
But-
half a year's experience. It doesn't matter. A crowd isn't going to phase her. She went out in front of the biggest audience in her life
Yeah.
at WrestleMania, and absolutely, it's a good job there was no roof because she would have blown it off. You know what I mean? Where was the roof? It was an
Above
open
you.
door arena, wasn't it?
No, it was an indoor.
Was it?
Yeah.
Ah, shit. you can edit that one out. Right, so it was indoor. Well,
where was the
when
roof?
she wrestled,
Above you.
when she wrestled, they must have opened it because there was no roof there. All I'm saying to you is, I love it. No.
But,
Point I'm making is, all right, she blew the roof off the place. Now that we've established that there was a roof,
Yeah.
it was gone for that match,
Yeah,
okay?
okay.
And it wasn't even the main event yet. So she's blown the roof off it. I mean...
Hashtag my main event.
Hashtag my main event, yeah, exactly. But it is definitely my main event, yeah. It was my favourite match of the show, I'm just saying. All parties involved.
Yeah.
But she absolutely is ready to hold it. And I'll tell you why. What way to give her experience by throwing her into the deep end. We all work regular jobs and do things that, you know, we think we can't do. When do we learn? We learn by just getting thrown into the deep end.
Yeah.
And that's when we get our best performance. No point in sitting on your laurels and going, blah, 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 blah. Literally, into the deep end, learn how to do it, sink or swim. And I'm telling you here now, you give her that title, she is going to run with it and be the best in the business.
Okay.
I think you're asking the wrong question. I think I'll agree with you
You
there.
asked me the question.
Ready wise, I think I agree with you.
I'm
in
some
ring
host
wise,
then if I can
in
ask
ring
wrong
wise,
questions. isn't it?
Oh, yeah, Daragh, come on.
I'm a terrible host here.
in ring wise, yes.
We're getting into it now. Come on, lads.
In ring wise, yes, she's ready. She proved at Mania she can
Right,
put
what's
on
the
a show.
question?
Has she earned it?
Yeah.
I don't think she has. I think she's getting this because of who she was before WWE.
Absolutely. What's earning it nowadays?
Earning it is putting on great shows week after week and doing good for the business.
So has Roman Reigns earned it?
Oh, well, don't get me into Roman Reigns.
No, but I'm
Yeah.
just asking the question. Has he?
Roman Reigns
He has it.
And he's earned.
Has Brock earned it?
No.
Yes,
How
he
has
has.
Brock not earned it?
Yes, of course he has.
Of course Brock's earned
Brock's
it.
earned it.
Brock's been in the business.
Even before his
Before,
UFC
I'm talking
time,
about this current title run.
No,
No.
No, he's earned this current title
he-
run because the title means absolutely nothing now. Let's get this. You're talking to somebody here who believes in wrestling being the way it used to be. And I mean NWA Heavyweight Championship. That I've had Harley the King race on my podcast. That's when a world title last meant something. When the likes of Ric Flair, I'll say Bret Hart, Stone Cold. Stone Cold's almost the last that held the belt that meant something. I would actually dare say that when Stone Cold last held it, that's when the belt meant something.
Okay.
And then it started getting thrown from Billy to Jack and whatever. The title, the Universal title now means nothing. It means absolutely nothing. It's not a case now that the heavyweight champion gets paid more than anyone else on the pay-per-views. The whole pay structure has gone out the window, except for WrestleManias. It's not like when Hulk Hogan was carrying the ball. So, absolutely Brock Lesnar has earned it.
But
He's
with
paid
him,
his dues.
with him not showing up all the time, that's not really helping the title be like me in
But
anything.
that
No,
was-
is it?
I think
but
it
that
helps
thing-
the title
that's-
more.
WWE have agreed to that, though.
Yeah, I think
They
it,
They
put
did. They
themselves
made
in
their
that
they made their
position.
bed. Now they
Yeah.
have to lie in it.
I think it helps the title more because it makes it more prestigious. Like, how the hell do we get the title off this absolute behemoth to make it more meaningful? You can't.
What
But
they're
anyway,
what they're trying to do is, and it's something that I've seen by watching Japan more and more. They're trying to make it like an IWGP Heavyweight Championship where Okada doesn't defend it an awful lot, but when he does, it's a spectacle.
they're trying to make it MMA style.
Yeah.
MMA style.
Yeah.
An MMA title isn't.
I think the fact that, and I think I get where you're coming from, Peter, and where you're upset is, it's not the fact that Brock doesn't show up often. It's the fact that when he does show up, that the matches have become short and predictable.
The last good match I remember him in was the one against AJ. No, I'll give him that.
And that wasn't
was,
for a title either. It wasn't
yeah,
for a title.
that was a fantastic match.
Yeah.
I will give him that. That was an outstanding match. But that's the last time I can remember actually being entertained
But Brock-
by Brock Lesnar.
Brock does what Brock wants.
True.
Brock does what Brock is paid to do as well.
But
let
if
me-
he's not feeling a rivalry with someone, he'll just use his power to make it go the way he wants.
I agree with that,
Yeah.
but at the same, all right. Well then, I had something in my head there, and it's like, if you think about it, right? If Brock is capable of being able to, have these main event matches, as you say, and he's able to go through the motions, wouldn't you want to see your women's champion, aka Ronda Rousey, actually willing to fight for that position and go above and beyond to prove it to you that she is the best in the business? Because make no mistake about it, this woman will prove that she is the best.
Okay.
I just find it I know it's probably not meant that way. I agree with a lot of what you're saying. Rousey, again, huge name. She's going to put butts in seats. But I just feel it's slightly disrespectful to the other women on the roster that she is leapfrogging over so many of them
Why?
to this title
What
opportunity.
money have they brought into the company that she's going to bring in one appearance? That's what it all boils down to.
It's fair. Wrestling is a business, and I'll give you that. But these women put their bodies on the line just as much as the men do, and she's leapfrogging every single one of them to a title opportunity.
Yeah, and so she should.
Well, that was an interesting debate. Very interesting debate. I like that. We'll see what happens in the title match at Money in the Bank.
Go Ronda.
I think in some way that this match won't happen. I think something's going to stop it from happening, whether they pull an injury angle or something like that. I think that
Brock will show up.
Brock might show up. But we're going to move on quickly, and we're going to move on to SmackDown.
Come on to the Rock Show, to the premier show, SmackDown.
So again, the same as Raw, we're going to pick the main topic from Tuesday night show, and we're going to have a little discussion on it. So, Shinsuke Nakamura beat AJ Styles in a non-title match this week to pick the stipulation he wants for the Money in the Bank match, where Shane McMahon has said that there will be a clear and definite winner. First of all, what do you think the stipulation will be? And secondly, are you actually excited to see another installment of this match? Low Blows Mania.
Yeah, Iron Man Low Blows.
Yeah.
How many low blows can the other opponent get?
It's a classic game of Rochambeau. You know? He's going to kick him as really hard as he can on the nuts, and then he'll get another go. AJ will get another go if he can actually get up.
I tell you what, after their match at Backlash, what I'd love to see is a last man standing match between the two of them.
That is what the rumours are.
I would love to see that, or even an I Quit match. But Shinsuke doesn't speak English, so how is he going to say I quit?
That's very true. Well, he's selective.
You can tap
selective.
out.
He can tap out, yeah. I'd agree with you. Like, in terms, if you take away the finishes of the matches, Greatest Royal Rumble and Backlash have been really, really good matches because they had a clear heel and a clear face, so they can actually work the matches the right way.
And the talent that
both have. Exactly. A last man standing match or an Iron Man match, I think, wouldn't be the worst.
I think Shinsuke needs to win it.
Yeah.
To bring both. I wouldn't say validation to his character, because that would be wrong. You know what I mean? Because his character is pretty, strong.
Yeah.
But they've taken a big risk in turning them heel, especially to the Japanese audience. To the Orient, it's gonna be they're gonna still buy t-shirts, but he was one of the big t-shirt sellers. I thought they should have done it with Finn, personally.
Yeah. Well, we've been screaming out for that on the show for a while.
I know you have, and we're not going to get into that, but we might.
Different show.
Exactly. But what I'm saying is, I think they took that risk with Shinsuke. I think it's now time that they give him the belt and let him run with it until Mania. And I would give him that long a run, as in till Mania. And it's going to sound like I'm contradicting myself here, where I'm saying to give validation to the WWE title, but it will, because they're two different titles. Universal title is still new. It's still in its infancy. Exactly. It's still a toy. Exactly. Whereas and Brock's holding it, because who's going to really beat Brock?
Yeah.
Whereas like a CM Punk run almost, give it to Shinsuke for how long are we away from Mania now?
A year. Well, no.
10 months.
10 months.
10 months. Time flies, you see.
Yeah.
Give it to him. Let him hold it, and let him actually really get that character.
Let's flesh out the heel.
Flesh it out. Let's put the meat and bones on it, and let AJ feud with other people again, just to validate how good AJ is as well.
It is an interesting point that you make, because they have put so much into this. Nakamura.
Because this feud can't go on.
Yeah, Nakamura turning heel.
It has to be for a reason. Yeah.
Yeah. If it doesn't come true, what do you see him doing afterwards? He can't just become heel and then target someone else, because there's no reason for it.
That's my point.
Yeah.
He's only become a heel like the whole reason was because he can't beat AJ clean.
Yeah.
So therefore, you need to give him that belt, and psychologically he starts getting into AJ's head. And then AJ's kind of going, all right, maybe I need to go away and reevaluate stuff, and then come back stronger, and then have that epic match at WrestleMania.
Exactly. And put it this way, AJ, no matter whether he's face or heel, to develop his character, he doesn't need the title to be a draw. AJ is a draw all on his own.
AJ is the draw.
Yeah.
In my opinion, now, I mean, after Cena, he's the draw.
Yeah. Even like when he's the draw, and he, like in the last year, he continued to be the draw because he was US champion for a while, and that was more important than when Jinder was WWE champion.
Doesn't that tell you something? You know what I mean?
Give him a run, let him remake the club.
See, it's not.
There you go. Like,
that's it. It's not like, and that's, you know what? You could do so many things. It's so many things you could do.
Possibilities with someone like AJ are endless.
And throw Finn Balor into the mix there as well.
Yeah, exactly.
And have them running. club versus club, different types of things, different different
Leader
beefs.
versus leader. There you go.
Exactly, and that could be his thing for a year, where it means much more than a title.
Exactly.
For a long time, it's
Yeah.
actually about friendship. It's
If you have him working towards something
who's
like
the
that,
real leader of the club? Is it
Yeah.
Finn Balor? Is it
It's
AJ
AJ.
Styles? And that's something that would literally probably give you a good 10 months of material.
Easily.
and it would get like indie fans who have done with the WWE product back invested in it. as well.
Exactly. I'm available to write for the if they want. I'm
Sorry.
just saying.
Sorry, unfortunately, Road Dogg has that position filled up.
That's alright. He's still trying to perfect that bloody song. So, Road Dogg, if you need assistance,
We talked about the match itself, though. The AJ Shinsuke match from
go for
Tuesday.
it. Yeah.
The just one little part of it I loved. Shinsuke is kind of Eddie Guerrero style fake to the ref.
Yeah.
The ref got knocked back and Shinsuke drops holding onto his delicates,
Yeah.
his delicate region.
You like, yeah.
It
The
was
little light cheating steel.
yeah,
bit?
it was,
yeah.
I really liked that. I thought that was a really nice touch.
It
And
was like a little homage to
It was, wasn't it?
to Eddie. Yeah.
He'd be coming out in a lowrider next week. Now watch.
Body no speak.
But that is your quick review of SmackDown and Raw. Unfortunately, if you are looking for a more detailed one, we can't actually give that to you this week because we're a bit short for time. What we're going to do now is we're actually going to quickly go through reviews, or previews, I should say, of the week.
What? Look at what we have here, folks!
And we're going to start with Sunday, or May the 27th, at Boulder Road in Belfast. It's PW Junction 9. PWU goes insane. Tickets are available at Taylor.com. Matches announced are Chris Renfrew versus Luther Valentine in an Saints Rule match. Guest GM Mark Dallas, Lionheart, ICW Tag Champs, Kinky Party of Shaw Samuels and Jack Jester, ICW Women's Champion Viper, ICW World Champion Stevie Boy Xavier, Tucker, New School, which is LJ Cleary and Nathan Martin, Katie Harvey, Justy, Rocky Star and Nathan Byrne are all set to appear. An after party includes with a Q&A with Mark Dallas and the ICW stars. Of course, Fight Factory Pro Wrestling have episode 5 hashtag Irish Underground style taking place on Friday the 1st of June at the Sean O'Casey Centre in East Wall in Dublin. Tickets are available at eventbrite.ie. Also, side note, you should check out the new promo video from Justy talking about his upcoming match against Valkyrie, because it was shot and edited by yours truly.
Well done.
Yeah, shameless plug.
Absolutely brilliant job as well.
Thank
yeah,
you,
it was
sir.
fantastic video.
Thank you. CCW Celtic Championship Wrestling return with Revolution 6 Saturday, June 2nd. I think I mentioned that as Revolution 4. I'm sorry earlier on, but that's because I don't know Roman numerals, obviously. At the Commons Inn Hotel in Cork. Tickets available also on eventbrite.ie. Matches announced include a 20-man Dano Maloney Memorial Battle Royal, Vic Viper versus Bruiser for the CCW All-Star title, Raven Creed versus Debbie Keitel for the CCW Women's title. These two have had a fantastic rivalry, not just in CCW but also in OTT. If you haven't seen any of their matches, I really suggest that you go and see them. They're fantastic. Doug Williams goes up against Paul Tracy. The Armstrongs go up against Rough Stuff for the CCW Tag Team titles. And then it's a fatal four-way for the vacant CCW Heavyweight title. Ricky Combat against Danny the Beast Butler versus Lewis Gervin versus Justy. Tickets, like I said, available at eventbrite.ie. Fantastic lineup there. And I always implore you, you know yourself, going down to Cork for a wrestling show is just great. Crack.
Hell yeah, and I will second that.
Yeah,
all great shows. Most of the guys that you may have done time with, still have the scars on either the brain or the body. But
also on the same night, OTT have their show back in the Tivoli, a haven for monsters. Tickets also available on eventbrite.ie. A few matches have been announced so far. So it's Team Whitehall against the more than hype team of Nathan Martin and Darren Cleary. Carney, I should say, not Cleary, Carney.
Mixing the members together.
Mixing the members together.
Hybrid members. More than hybrid.
Hybrid members. That's if they had like if they had kids or something, it would be Darren Cleary or something, or LJ Carney.
All right, Mr. Fanfiction.
Let's not go there. Yeah, okay, let's keep it away
Dan
from
Barry is going up against Be Cool. LJ Cleary versus Chris Wolf versus Trent Seven for the OTT gender neutral title. Walter and Low Key will be going up against Jordan Devlin and David Starr in the main event. And then finally, OTT the following night on Sunday the 3rd of June will be back in Belfast at the Europa Hotel. Matches announced for that is UK champion Pete Dunne against Adam Maxted, Tucker, Kingston North, Debbie Gaitel, Jordan Devlin, Trent Seven, and the Rapture are set to appear. And that is your previews for the week.
It's really not, though.
Oh,
because there's one more that you forgot.
I'm sorry, what is it?
The plot thickens.
Because you are one of the hosts of this great show.
Thank you.
You are going to be joining yours truly on this coming Saturday for a feast of festive football with Chelsea and Manchester United. You being a Manchester United fan and me being a Chelsea fan.
Yeah. And Peter, who's a Liverpool fan, might show up.
Well, he's going to show up purely neutral, but he's going to want Chelsea to win. It's just known.
That's if you don't want to get kicked out of the house.
Yeah,
yeah, pretty much. I've got my mind on you.
I'm the one with the butter on the bread knife, so know which side.
And I very much look forward to that.
So we are gonna have a special episode of Dynamo's Dozen as a preview for that. So I just thought I'd shout that out if people want to hear your voice a little bit more.
Perfect. Excellent. So just before we go, we're going to go with our yes, no's.
Yes, no! Yes, no! Yes, no!
So, pretty simple. Yes or no to these questions. There's only 3 this week. Daniel Bryan to win the WWE title this year.
I'm going to say no, because I quite like Ian's idea about Shinsuke.
Yeah, I'm thinking...
So you're going against your own Shinsuke?
No, I'm agreeing with what...
You're going agreeing with Peter?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think Daniel Bryan might fill in the void.
Okay. John Cena and Nikki Bella to actually get married.
Oh, God. I don't care.
Oh, sorry, I forgot this section was called Yes, No, I Don't Care.
Yes! Yes for love.
There you go.
I'm going to agree. I'm going to say yeah.
Yeah. For love's sake,
I'm
it's
gonna
a
say yeah.
yes.
Well, I hope so.
Let's
How's
see,
that?
yeah.
Is that better?
Yes.
Because I do care.
That is better. Thank you.
I would rather that. I'm sorry.
For love's sake, it's a yes.
Yeah, I want them to do that.
The revival to return to NXT.
Well, they're already doing the live shows, aren't they? So
Full time, though.
yeah, see, I don't know. They haven't really been given a good run on the main roster, but I still say no. I still say going back would hurt them more.
Yeah, I agree with him. I'm saying no, but a possible yes in the sense that management could do that.
Okay. I would say no, but I do think management missed the trick to actually move them to Smackdown to give them a fresh start there. I think that could have worked so much better for them.
They missed so many tricks, though.
Well, yeah. I know. Well, for us.
AKA Finn Balor.
Yeah, exactly.
Put him on bloody Smackdown.
Exactly. And it's not just because we're Irish and we just think Finn is the greatest ever. We actually know he is. Yeah. So it's there's a difference there.
I'm Irish. Fit Finley. Bring him back. I'm not boys.
I'm Irish. Fit Finley. Oh, but unfortunately, that is all the time we have this week. Lads, thank you so much for coming on the show. I really appreciate having you here for company because God knows I would have struggled to do this show by myself.
What is your name?
My name is Daragh Maher. Ian, before we go, quick plug.
Dynamo's Dozen. IanKelly.podbean.com. Find me on all great podcast hosts, whatever. There you go. Got me on the spot.
And on Facebook?
Oh, on Facebook, Dynamo's Dozen. Simple.
Facebook.com, Dynamo's Dozen.
On Twitter, at Dynamo's Dozen on Twitter.
Excellent. Peter, quick plug.
Superior Comic Show on Facebook, Spreaker, iTunes. at Superior Comics 16 on Instagram and Twitter, and we talk about Spider-Man and stuff.
Oh, I'm on Instagram as well, sorry.
Hey, I want to get Instagram in. I want to do it too. Anyway, that are the last shows. I recommend you check out both shows. Both different, but both fantastic in their own way. And of course, you can follow us on Twitter at The Kickout Live, on Facebook at facebook.com/The Kickout Wrestling. Instagram at The Kickout Wrestling, or is it Instagram.com The Kickout Wrestling? It's
just say Instagram the way I did.
Instagram The Kickout Wrestling. Just search that, you'll find us there. We're on Podbean, we're on iTunes, we're on all of it. Just search The Kickout and you will find us. We are so overtime this week. This is going to be horrible to edit, but by the time you hear this, I won't care anymore because it's done.
It'll be in memory of Dave.
In memory of Dave, exactly. Dave, you're looking at us across the way somewhere, and then you're wondering, how did we mess up this show so badly?
He'll still not come back to hand. That's the funny thing.
He
won't come back to hand at all.
No, he's gonna text me. He's gonna say, Daragh, I'm staying in Madrid. It's all yours now from now on.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, that has been the kick out. Enjoy your wrestling week, guys. Enjoy the football as well at the weekend, and we will speak again soon.